welcome to the show this week. I had a bit of a technical hitch this week. I completely forgot to actually click the button to record the show for the audio. So I'm having to rely on the stream audio from Respawn. So it may sound a little bit different this week. I do apologise for that. My fault. Hopefully I'll remember to push the button next week. So hope you enjoy. And here it is, episode 253. He's really quiet.
He's very quiet.
He's very quiet.
He's super quiet. Did you have him server muted?
No.
There you go. Is that there?
Yep.
Yay! There you go. See, Respawn? That's how you adjust the volume so that people can hear you without messing up your entire setup.
Mm-hmm.
I turned the volume down a little bit because I thought, I don't want anybody to be able to hear my jet engine.
I love
So
I love the fact that the guy who has never been able to unmute people in his YouTube channel is telling me how to mess with volume. I love that.
Look, I don't profess to actually being a professional YouTube streamer, so
and yet you're telling me corrections? Really?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that every week there is an issue with you. Even last week there was issues.
Last week, so, I don't think I was home, was I?
I don't know.
I don't think I was.
No, I'm sure you were.
I do know the next 3 weeks after today, I'm going to be out of town in Texas, so we're going to be broadcasting from the laptop. That's going to be fun.
That's good.
You let him know, Respawn. It was yeah, exactly. See, even the chat saying you were late, not me. Shut your face.
I've told you I've got an excuse this week.
You always
don't pick
have an
on
excuse.
me.
That doesn't help anything. I did have to adjust a bunch of stuff though, because all my streaming stuff. You guys let me know if y'all can see the game, because I got an ultra wide monitor. And all the stuff that I've had up to this point has been like monitor 1, browser 1, monitor 2, browser 2, things like that, right? I don't have multiple monitors anymore. I just got the one. So I had to readjust a whole bunch of stuff. Apparently you have to resize the windows because, OBS doesn't resize for you. So, yeah, you gotta like do a bunch of weird stuff. It was not fun.
So now you're set up, you're ready to go.
I think so.
Should we start the show?
As long as everybody can hear me, everybody can see.
We can hear you.
Fine. Yeah, okay.
If everyone can hear...
Loud and clear, just don't push any buttons.
There you go. Sound advice.
I had to push buttons, otherwise people couldn't see anything.
Well, I'm going to push a button so that we can play the intro.
And there it is.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Nitedemon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Ranger, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
So, welcome to the show this week. We have no Peroty. Now, I'm not sure whether he's ill, because he was ill at the beginning or the middle of the week, just before Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if he actually did go away to see family or not.
It's called turkey illness. He had too much turkey. And
this was before. No, this was before,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that kind of illness doesn't last very long. Now, you took his illness, and then you added turkey to it, right? And mashed potatoes, and probably, things like pumpkin pie, and we've lost Peroty for the foreseeable future.
Well, so probably only for this week.
It was like pre-turkey illness. Yeah. Like he was pre-ill.
Yeah. He was pre-excited about getting his hands on the turkey.
No, he was pre-cooking the turkey, and he was taste testing it the whole time.
That sounds like something I should get. I should get that. Like pre-excited for food. It's like, yeah, something I get.
I don't have to get pre-excited because I'm always excited.
Our third voice here is Mr. Noble. He has joined us again. We've allowed him back to give some opinions on the shenanigans at Bungie, or say shenanigans, just the TWAB basically. Because there's some good juicy stuff to talk about this week, and it is juicy stuff. And
juicy gravy.
Yeah, there you go. See, juicy gravy. So, Nitedemon is here. Respawn is here, and Noble is here. There you go. Your hosts for this week. So shall we kick things off with this week in Destiny, or the TWAB, for the 22nd of November?
I mean, you
My
could.
word. We are nearly at Christmas time. It's nearly time
at Christmas
to start playing Christmas jingles and music at the beginning of the show.
Well, you can.
Oh, are you going to
it's
do a
legal to
Santa
do it
Claus
again.
voice this year?
Ho, ho, ho. I could, couldn't I?
You could so do a Santa Claus voice for a full episode.
We're not condoning this. I'm not condoning this. I don't think
I'm
Peroty is
condoning this. I think that'd be a fantastic idea. Like, you've got voice editing as well, so you could edit Respawn to be quite high pitched, and he could be like an elf.
He could be my little elf
Like
friend.
an elf. What are you talking about?
He could be my little elf helper, yeah. Good suggestion there. We'll go with it, unless we find that people email in and say, please do not do that.
Guys, can y'all preemptively email and say please don't do that?
Just ignore those emails. It's fine.
So the team here have been briefed. Whether they've actually kind of gone ahead and taken notice of the brief is read the TWAB. So they know what we're talking about this week.
Yeah, it wasn't a good TWAB.
It was a good
Especially
TWAB.
for Titans. Oh my god.
There's nothing wrong with the TWAB. There's nothing wrong with the TWAB.
Do you know what?
Oh my god.
And I'm a Titan.
There's a few things that I'm going to say when it comes to Titans.
Even
I'll say it when we
Astacross
get
was
to
like,
the point.
I hope the Warlocks and the Hunters get effed as bad as the Titans did, because this is not fair, and yada yada yada. I was like,
Oh, who cares about Aztec Ross?
well, I do. I like
baby.
him. I'm an Astacross fan. But yeah, so you guys are not having a good time with what's coming. I mean, fair enough. Everybody got a little bit of something, but Titans, woo! Bungie gave you the beat down with the nerf stick.
You know what? I'm gonna side with you for a change, Respawn. Titans got nothing that they didn't warrant.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. And
Right,
everybody got nerfed with the whole you can't.
I've got my hand up. Look, only Titan in the room.
Okay, what?
Don't care. Let's just go on with the TWAB.
You don't care about all the Titan nerfs? Are you sure?
No, why would I care? Why would I care?
Because you're a Titan?
And
Or you claim to be a Titan anyway. I mean, whether or not you are, I mean, I don't know.
Most of the time when I've seen him this season, or last season even, he's been on a Warlock.
Or a Hunter, yeah. We played PvP and he was a Hunter.
There you go. See, doesn't matter.
Yep.
So, announcing our latest collab. Well, not our latest collab. Bungie's latest collab.
Which
is everybody
exciting.
Everybody excited about which collaboration they've got going?
Yep. Which is which, indeed.
Yeah. No, that was the title of an episode a long time ago.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The fact that you remember that is scary. But yeah, so we have a collab coming. It's a great game, a game that I've played to completion many times, and it's called The Witcher, everybody. And if you don't know, The Witcher is an amazing game. If you haven't played it, you totally should. Also, I'm upsetting spaghetti about one thing about the collab. The Titans should not be the ones that get to be Geralt. Okay? That's just not cool. That's not cool. Why do the Titans get to be Geralt? Geralt's not a Titan. Geralt, if anything, is a mage. You know?
I mean, he'd be a warlock. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, can he fight? Yeah, but he also uses magic and stuff like that. So, like, at a minimum, he should be a warlock. Now, I wish he'd be a hunter just because, you know, I want to be Geralt. But, him being a Titan doesn't make any sense. You know?
So, the other two characters that we've got there, the warlock and the hunter, what are their kind of basis of their outfits? Are they actually based on characters that are in The Witcher or not?
Well,
are they just kind of themed around The Witcher?
I think they're themed around The Witcher because the only other characters... Okay, so you have other Witchers, right, that are males.
Yeah.
Well, all of them are male except Ciri. But I don't really recognize the other costumes as being any of those guys. So I'm like, well, maybe it's Ciri? But it doesn't even really look like Ciri. So, I mean, unless somebody can find like a game or a DLC that looks like what these guys are, I just think they're themed. I think Geralt is the only one that's Geralt. I don't think the other ones are characters in the game per se. So, I mean, that's all. I mean, yeah.
I'll be honest, I think the Titan's the only one that looks good as well. I think the other two don't.
Because they're
I think
that's why.
No, the hunter looks pretty cool. I do like that hunter outfit.
It does, but it as Respawn just said, it just looks themed.
Yeah.
That looks like something that you could just have anyway.
That doesn't look like a
mean,
Witcher thing per se,
Those pants, man. I mean, if they're just like, I don't know.
And then the Warlock, they didn't really. I mean, I don't know. The Warlock looks like it's half done.
The Warlock's got chest pieces like that already.
Yeah, it just looks half done to me, I think.
All the helmets look like the Kratos one.
Well, Geralt's got a scar on his eye, so
He does.
The Titan makes sense. That the Titan's got like the red scar or whatever. Even though you might be right, it does look like Kratos, but Geralt also has a scar. So
yeah, but it looks to me it's because of all they've done to in my eyes, honestly, is move the scar sides, and if you look back to the Kratos when they had the God of War crossover, it's basically the same thing.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but they have two swords now. They have the silver sword and the steel sword. So
yeah,
you got to have that. When you're killing the monsters, you got to have the silver, and when you're killing humans, you got to have the steel. That's what they tell us anyway.
But apparently there's a trailer coming that will show us these sets in action, which is pretty cool. But the only bad thing is that you will have to use silver, so real world money to purchase these outfits, unfortunately. Which is the way it always goes when they have the collabs. It's not like they put it in the Eververse for silver. And remember the good old times when they made a set and they went each week for like about 4 weeks. Over the season, you'll get a chance to pick up one piece at a time for Bright Dust. I love those ones. Yeah, I miss those days.
Do you remember the days when you just used to be able to play the game for your engrams and then cash them in, and you had the chance at these?
Yeah.
Like, when we had the Dragonfly Regalia set and stuff like that.
Way back when, when we had
way back year one.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the days when Bungie used to use silver to actually pave the way for future DLC? Y'all remember that?
What do you mean they haven't always lined their pockets with it?
No, I'm just saying that because one of the comments I had was exactly that. They're like, man, I remember the days, you would be encouraged to buy things with silver because you knew it was going towards a DLC. But now... Yeah.
Now you cut off. Yeah.
Indeed.
He did a little bit, didn't he?
You did. New artifact. Who dis? So we have a new artifact this season, and it's the Queen Force sensor. That's how I'm pronouncing it. I'm pronouncing it right, isn't it? Sensor.
It looks like it.
So, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Looks like a thing that you would have on like a mace, like a stick with a mace on the end, swinging it around your head.
Like an anchor.
Yeah, it could be. But that would be a good thing to put in the game, wouldn't it? Like a mace. There you go, Bungie. Another weapon that you could put.
I thought you were going for that'd be a good thing to put in the game, wouldn't it? An anchor. I was like, we're going to go back to fishing.
No. Like a proper like medieval mace where you could customize your mace to have like a bigger ball on the end, and if you slam it into the ground, it kind of splits off and goes into a different, like a wave-frame grenade launcher, but it does different things. Maybe if you got a mace and you kind of smashed it if it was a Titan one specific to the Titan, like they have with the glaives. So if you smash it into the ground, it has that kind of... You've seen them in those kind of films where the tentacles kind of go through the earth and kind of grab people.
Whoa.
Maybe it could be like Strandish kind of...
Like a strand one. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. There you go, Bungie. Look, thinking outside the box.
Yeah, well, maybe they're saving that for the 2024 subclass, the one that looks like blood. Have you seen that? Yes.
Yeah. There's a thing that we can talk about later if you want to, if we have time.
I mean, you might. It's news, and we're here to discuss news for the most part.
We are, yeah. But we're here to tell people what's available in this season's artifact.
Are we?
So in column 1, we have anti-barrier sidearm.
Oh no!
No! I'm very much in agreement with you there.
Yes, I think
sidearms.
I think I'm in agreement with you, because by the time we read all of them and then you come back around, you go, where's the other anti-barrier something?
It's called the Wish Ender.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to need an exotic or a sidearm.
Yep.
Is the only thing that could do anti-barrier at the moment in here. Well, I mean, you do have intrinsic mods and like intrinsic perks on your
We do have
like subclasses.
We do have an exotic pulse rifle
and exotics is
that
the,
has
you know the
anti-barrier built in. We have an exotic bow that's got anti-barrier built in.
You can run radiance.
Hand cannon that's got anti-barrier built in.
Yeah, no. But if you're new to the game, it's going to be very difficult if you're reliant on a sidearm. So
yeah,
hopefully, yeah. So we have unstoppable hand cannon, unstoppable bow, overload auto rifle, overload pulse rifle. In column 2, we have flame, fiber, and freeze, which combines solar and strand and solar and stasis siphons mods into one.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the ones where it kind of reduces the cost when you put it on your armor pieces. I'm quite excited about some of these Radiance ones. Kindling trigger. Radiance causes solar weapons to apply scorch to unscorched combatants.
Yep.
Blast radius.
That is good to have. Absolutely.
Rapid final blows with rocket launchers and grenade launchers grant armor charge. And then we have Origin Perk Specialization 1. Improves the benefits provided by Sundering, Nano Munitions, Nanotech Tracer Rocket Origin traits. Additionally, weapons with these traits are always overcharged. So that's good when you're kind of doing your Nightfalls and anything else that you need to have overcharged weapons that work in there. You also have, in the third column, you have Specialization 2, which is also the same things. It improves the benefits provided by Noble Deeds, Unsated Hunger, Head Rush, and Dragon's Vengeance. So this is a new one that's in our mods for this season. So I don't know what Dragon's Vengeance is. Maybe it's to go with Dragon's Breath.
No, no, I think it's rocket launcher specific. Where it
maybe it gives tracking to all rocket launchers.
It does not. No, we already went over them on a different channel. It does not do that.
Okay. So, continuing in column 2, we have From Whence You Came. Increases ability damage to taken and scorned combatants. Then in column 3 again, we have Flint Striker. Rapid solar weapon precision hits and rapid solar weapon final blows grant radiance. Torch. While radiant, it'll increase weapon damage to combatants affected by strand and stasis debuffs. Heart of Flame. Casting your solar super grants nearby allies radiance. Increases the damage of your super for each nearby ally.
It's like surrounded, isn't it, for you? Super.
And then Winter Being. While your super is nearly fully charged, ability final blows spawn orbs of power. Wearing Season of the Wish armor decreases that super amount threshold. That's interesting.
I wonder if the DLC armor is that season, or does it have to be? Because I mean, like, if you're gonna have like a collab, right? And then you're gonna say, "Oh yeah, we know there's a collab, but we want you to use the Season of the Wish armor." That'd be stupid.
No, but the stuff that you buy in Eververse is ornaments that can be put onto the armor. You know, like
you're right. I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah.
You know, like we have every season. You go to, if you were doing the fishing season, you had the nautical stuff that gave you like buffs while you're in the deep stuff. I can't remember what last season's stuff was. Anyway, gives you buffs for the seasonal activity. Gives you like every time you put on a different armor piece, it gives you like a multiple of a percentage towards achieving like more XP or doing something in that season. So that's what that's going to be.
But at the same time, Respawn's kind of right, because why shouldn't it do that, given the fact that you put an Iron Banner ornament on any piece of armor, you get the Iron Banner buffs.
That's true, because like I have my set armor pieces. So like, yeah, man, if I could swap off all of my good armor that I've already built into different sets to wear Season of the Wish armor, and I can't use an ornament, that would be asinine.
That's going to be horrid, isn't it, if you can't use an ornament for it. And like I said, there's no reason that it shouldn't work. If we can have it work in Iron Banner, why can't we have it work everywhere else?
Because Bungie. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anti-barrier sidearm is so icky, man. Who uses a sidearm for anything? I mean, don't get me wrong. We got some good sidearms, and we got the sidearm that's basically a special weapon. We have the sidearm that's got a laser beam on the bottom of it. We got a sidearm that freezes things. What else?
Which isn't bad, because then, you know, like, if you freeze things, you could be using a sidearm. You've got... Actually, no, because... I don't know if that's got an intrinsic perk on it. I was going to say you could use the freeze as well then for unstops and overload.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. Since you mentioned that, I'm looking to see if they have anything like that. Okay, what do we got going on here? We got the Strum and Drang. The Drang you could use. There you go. I mean, it's just a solid
You'd have
sidearm.
anti-barrier.
The Traveler's
You'd have
Chosen.
anti-barrier and unstoppable there as well with Dragonstone.
Yep, you got Traveler's Chosen, which will help with your ability spam. There you go. Probably use that.
Yeah.
Cryosynthia. Okay, that's the one right there. Cryosynthia has a freezing laser beam on the bottom of it for stasis. Forerunners, basically a special weapon in the form of a sidearm, which ain't bad, but you need special ammo, which is dumb. Final Warning. Okay, you know, maybe I've changed my mind. Final Warning is really good.
Which one's Final Warning?
It's the stasis auto tracking sidearm.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Corners.
Yeah, that one's not bad. Okay, I like that one. Okay, so I could deal with it if I could use that stasis sidearm because I got a lot of stasis builds that need stasis weapons. So that ain't bad. Okay, for me anyway.
Stasis or Strand?
Strand. Did I say stasis? Strand is what I meant. My bad.
Yeah. It's the Strand sidearm, isn't it? That does the auto tracking.
Yep.
The stasis one is the Cryosthesis.
Yeah, we covered that one already.
Yeah.
I just not a fan because, you know, like, put a sidearm in my hands on this game, and honestly, I just turned into a Stormtrooper. I can't hit anything.
That's where you get the auto tracking.
Yeah.
Devil's Ruin, solar laser beam on the bottom of that one. So if you like fusion rifles, is that it? Nope, we got the Trespasser. Trespasser's a 3-round burst that when you get a kill, it basically turns into a fast firing 3-round burst, which is kind of meh. And that looks like that's it for the exotic sidearms, everybody. I don't think we got anything else.
So the Strand one might be all right. For us,
the stasis one might not be bad either.
The stasis one,
you could add that to a stasis build, just constantly freezing enemies. Yeah. Especially since we have stasis changes now, where you don't necessarily need. On the pass, I don't know if we got to it yet. There's an ornament which will allow you to freeze enemies without having to pick up the little crystal things, I think.
Yeah.
So, that'll work well with
Shall we continue with column 4?
Sure.
So, Unraveling Orbs. Picking up an Orb of Power grants Strand weapons unraveling rounds. Pillar of Ice. Killing an encased combatant spawns stasis crystals. Revitalizing Blast. Causing damage with a solar ability weakens champions and bosses for a short duration. Overload Rocket Launchers. Rocket launchers are especially effective against Overload champions.
Because Overload champions are going to stand still long enough for you to hit them.
You need tracking on these things. A Dragon's Bite. Breaking combatant's shield with Strand or Stasis weapon has a chance to suspend or freeze the combatant. Wearing Season of the Wish armor increases the chances.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I just want to point out how much of a psychic I am. Remember when I said with the new Dragon's Breath how it changed if it has intrinsic overload mods? That would be good because it would stick to the teleport and a-hole. Well, I don't know if it's got intrinsic overload mods, but we do have overload rocket launchers right here. So half psychic, mostly psychic, psychic-ish, I think.
Well, I think we've been doing this podcast long enough that or playing the game long enough that we can kind of predict what's going to happen.
Yeah,
like a lot of people that played the game for a long time.
Yeah, but nobody else said that but me, so you know.
Well, they could have. You just don't know.
But they didn't.
Do you think this Dragon's Bite is going to link in with the Dragon's Vengeance? Obviously, the new origin trait that we mentioned in column 3.
I think Dragon's Bite does.
Dragon's Bite is good.
Like, do you think it's going to be like a new thing that's going to be on Strand and Stasis weapons? Like maybe we're going to get a new Strand and Stasis weapons?
It'll probably be on the weapon set for the season, won't it? Like we've had in previous seasons, like the nanotech tracer rockets are on a set of weapons, and it is like the origin trait for that. So maybe the dragon stuff is a trait that's going to be on the weapons for next season that will then just do different things. Or because the nanotech stuff does different things for each weapon, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. As far as I can see,
it sure does.
Yeah.
Well, no, the nanotech, all the nanotech weapons shoot a little mini rocket. That's what nanotech does. Yeah.
But it does. Yeah, it does different damages depending on what kind of weapon you've got. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, the rocket damage amount changes. That's what I was saying. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought like it does different things, like little whatever. Doesn't matter. So, what does Dragon Bite do? Do you know?
Don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know yet.
How do you don't know? Everybody knows except me and you.
No, because I haven't been able to do any research this week.
Okay, fair enough.
Column 5 is Horde Shuttle, damaging unraveling targets with a weapon occasionally spawned threadlings. Hail the Storm, shattering encased targets and stasis crystals deals increased damage. Shattering a stasis crystal releases a shard of ice that damages and slows targets. Raise of Precision, whilst Radiant, Solar Precision final blows cause combatants to ignite. Solo Operative, while you are the only member of your fire team, you deal increased damage to all combatants. And Argent Ordnance, firing rocket launchers, consumes 1 stack of armor charge, granting increased damage and reload speed until you reload or you slow the rocket. Now, the build that I was talking about a couple of weeks ago that Unknown did, that I put in the show notes with the Hunters and the Radiance build, is going to be absolutely phenomenal with these mods, because it all centers around getting your Radiance, being Radiant, getting kills with solar weapons, especially I think it was the pulse rifle from Iron Banner. And I can see that build is going to be amazing in Crucible, let alone like PvE activities.
Yep.
So I will relink it in the show notes if anybody's interested in it, because I was using it in Iron Banner and I really, really enjoyed playing on a Hunter with that, Radiant build.
It sounds like my bouncy throwing knife of doom is going to make a reappearance.
Possibly, because as soon as you get a kill with that, you get Radiant, especially in
No,
PvE.
as soon as you throw the knife, you're Radiant. Throw. Not kill, not hit, throw.
I thought it was kill, because I was walking around near Muna, and normally the near Muna opponents are very tanky, and I was just like one hitting them with the whatchamacallit
throwing knife.
I was like, with the throwing knife, I was just decimating them, throwing one after the other because it was just constantly recharging.
Now, which knife are you throwing? Are you throwing the weighted one with the exotic that pairs with that? Or are you throwing the
weighted one, no exotic that pairs with it, because I was using the Aeon Swifts that Unknown did for the build.
Dude, if you use the exotic that pairs with it, it does bonkers damage. Like I've like 3-shot like the area bosses with the big yellow health bars. Yeah, 1 shot takes almost it's half its health bar. The second one almost kills it, and then you just follow up with a third. So like 2.1 throwing knives kills a world boss or an area boss. So it's kind of disgusting if you use the exotic. And what exotic am I talking about? I can't remember the name of it, but it increases this. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna tell you. Hold on.
Caliban's Hand.
Yes, Caliban's Hand increases the.
Not a Hunter.
No,
yep.
Hold on.
Is it Caliban? Sorry, it's Caliban's.
I'm in the wrong place. That's why I can't find it. I'm a dummy. All right.
Oh no, that's your proximity knife scorches targets.
So that's why I was double checking. Although that's good too. Caliban's Hand, really good for a nuke build that I have. I can show you guys when it comes out. You throw the one proximity knife and it clears an area. So
Athos' Embrace is the other one. Weighted stun knife.
That's the one.
Gives a second
Athos'
bounce.
Embrace. Yep.
Okay.
And the Athos' Embrace empowers the throwing knife's damage. And on the second bounce, where it says it gives it a second bounce, the trick to that is on that second bounce, it gets nutty tracking. Like, wow. If you just kind of like bounce it in the general direction of somebody, that'll kill somebody. And I say that knowing that I played PvP and I've thrown that knife and gotten a kill with that knife like 20 seconds later, right? So it's kind of dope. But yeah, Athos' Embrace strengthens throwing knives and gives it a second bounce. Although it doesn't tell you it strengthens it anymore. Did they nerf it? Hold on.
I don't know.
No, it does. It does. Okay, so weighted knife has a second bounce. Rapid precision hits with your weapons grant weighted knife a significant damage bonus, bonus strength, and the ability to stun unshielded combatants for a short time. This is also strong against unstoppable champions. There you go. So there's the nuke knife build with the Caliban's Hand. There's the throwing knife build with what we just discussed, and then there's a third build using the gives you a second throwing knife. It's scissor.
Dragon Shadow?
No, that's a second dodge. I think I have it on me. It's a second. Nope, I don't have it on me. It is called. It's got like little scissors on the chest piece. Phineas Faith. There it is. A Phineas Faith will give you a second throwing knife. And if you pair that with a build that emphasizes your fan of blades throwing knife, you just always have the knives out, just damn near constantly. So, and again, every time you throw a knife on a hunter, not kill, not hit, not damage, not none of that. Every time you just throw a knife, you become radiant. So these 3 builds are going to be super duper handy for the upcoming season for both PvE and PvP. A lot of these builds are good for both of these playstyles, so keep in mind.
Cool. So, ability changes coming next week, or coming this Tuesday, with Season of the Wish.
Yeah, 4 days away, man.
So, we're going to set the stage here, and we're going to tell you Bungie's overall goals. And then Respawn and Noble will probably give you opinions on those goals.
What? Respawn give an opinion? That's not a thing.
Okay. They want to ensure that abilities, particularly those in our longer cooldown tiers, are meeting our intended cost-to-output ratio. Reducing cases of players' survivability that exceed our power bar, making first steps of Well of Radiance and Ward of Dawn tuning, and taking a tuning pass on stasis abilities with more to come in the future. Now, we did already hear about the stasis abilities getting tuned up slightly. But Well of Radiance and Ward of Dawn, that's a bit... That sends alarm bells when you're kind of looking at... I'm thinking from like PvE content here, because PvP, it is what it is, and you know how to kind of counter it. Maybe they can do something else to kind of help that in things like Iron Banner Control or Iron Banner Fortress, where you do see a lot of these kind of well locks and bubbles. Maybe, here's a thought, Bungie, maybe when you put the pinnacle and the bonus power up as things that you can earn, take out Solar and Void and leave the others in there, and then people would be more inclined to play the other subclasses rather than those ones that they like to then use their bubble and their solar, because they'd be chasing the pinnacle power and they won't necessarily want to kind of lose out on playing a different subclass. Maybe, just maybe.
You're saying awfully big words there, bud.
I know, indeed. Oh, dear. So, to put it plainly, they're not hitting their goals, basically. There are many buildcraft avenues that grant a flat chunk of ability energy and ignore ability cooldown tiers. So this is what they're upset about. This gives them extreme inconsistency value depending on what the grenade, melee, or class ability energy or you have kind of equipped. So they do give you an example. A perk that grants 10% grenade energy on activation results in a cooldown reduction of 6.4 seconds to fireball grenades, but results in a cooldown reduction of 15.2 seconds for lightning grenades. So when players stack these buildcraft elements together, e.g. grenade kickstart, innovation, absolution, demolitionist, a chunk of every fragment, it results in a longer cooldown ability having uptime that is dramatically higher than what they intended for their potency level. So I see this as you've done this, Bungie. You must have known when you put these mods in there and done the testing that stacking this on top of this, on top of this, on top of this would give you this outcome. You
testing.
Because I mean, I don't want to moan at Bungie, but they went through it must have been about a year or 2 years ago. We went through this whole thing of power creep and how they took a lot of things out of the game and said, right, we've got to take out this or we've got to reduce this significantly because the power creep is intense and people are being able to stack this on top of this, on top of this. And we don't want that. We want it kind of
as intended. Don't mess.
But now it just seems like they've just... Team A wasn't speaking to Team B because Team A created the first kind of wave and then Team B was working on the second wave while Team A was working on C's wave, and Team B just went, oh, you know what, we'll just add this on top of that, and then...
I like that team. No, hire that team. Promote that team.
We need that team with a little bit more.
Yeah. Put that team in charge.
Do you know what I think about that team? They're the ones with brains.
Yeah, exactly. They're management material right there.
Yeah, because it's all right saying all this, right? But when players stack these buildcrafting elements together, a grenade kickstart, innovation, absolution, demolitionist, a chunk of it, all them, Yeah. All those depend upon you getting kills and stuff like that.
They do.
How often?
Yep, that's true.
How often do you go into GMs and can you
Kill something?
melee something and it die?
Exactly.
Without you having to shoot it for 5 minutes before you get it to a reasonable health.
Well, hold on.
that
I
you
think
can
the
just
exception
say,
is like the Monte Carlo.
"Here you
Hold on.
go."
Yeah, okay. Monte Carlo is an exception because it damages, right?
Yeah, it does,
Damaging
yeah.
an enemy can give you your full melee back. So I guess
Yeah.
that's an exception. But aside from that,
But that's the
it's
weapon.
an exotic.
That's not these.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's a weapon. That's not those particular mods.
yeah.
You know, so you've got to shoot something for 5 minutes in order to be able to get it to a reasonable range where you can just melee it and kill it for those mods to be able to work.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is not those mods. The problem is going into a dungeon and being able to. I mean, I'm a warlock, you know what I mean? Like, I'll click my fingers, kill one thing, and then throw 6 grenades and clear an area out, and it's walk away laughing.
Yeah, but you don't have that ability
shouldn't
up
be able
at
to-
all times, though, right? You have
Yeah, I
to work
do.
up that. Do you?
No, oh yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because all the time I'm in the air and my grenades are getting kills, it just feeds back into my melee.
Oh, and then you can do the whole thing again. Gotcha.
And then I do the click again, and then, you know, you throw another 6 grenades because you've got sun braces on.
Yeah, that works in GMs too. Like, you do enough damage in GMs to actually have that free-flowing.
You can, but it's much harder to set up in a GM,
Okay,
and
well,
you're not going to wipe out an entire area, but you're going to do some reasonable damage, you know what I mean?
yeah, but you can't spam it in a GM, right? Which I think is
No.
yeah, okay. That should be
Yeah,
fine.
and that's my point. You know, like, you've got to do all this, and then you've got to work towards it in a GM. The point is not that these are overpowered. The point is like, your dungeons are too easy.
The dungeons are too easy?
Yeah. Your dungeons are too easy, and most of your patrol areas are too easy.
You mean Lost Sectors?
No. Dungeons.
Okay.
I can do that at the beginning of Ghost of the Deep.
And you do go on to kind of say about staying alive that, however, they still need our aspirational content to remain challenging. And it's as to kind of what Noble was saying, it's that it's not challenging because their current position is where they're applying combat pressures to a well-buildcraft player. It's extremely difficult. If you've got a brilliant setup like Noble has, it is a cakewalk. It's a walk in the park.
That's the idea, though. You're building into it being easy. It's not just inherently easy.
But the thing is,
There's no middle ground, though. It's either it's too easy and it's becoming a cakewalk, or it just doesn't work.
Yeah. That's what they tried to shift with, like, the overpoweredness a couple of years ago and say, right, this is why the Revelry, they built so much into, like, all those people kind of shooting you on the sides and all the damage that you got taken from the Taken, and they just and the power creep from the Guardians was getting too much for them to kind of handle, so they kind of stripped it back. Do you remember them talking about that? And now it just seems that we're currently in the same situation again, is that the content has become too easy because of the build crafting has become easy to put together for players to then just go, I can just walk this. I mean, some players can't. Admittedly, there are some times that you just can't do it. You don't have the mods available, you don't have the equipment available, and you do your best with what
exotic, you don't have the stats. Yeah. I mean,
but
you got to put a lot in. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not like what you guys are like. Oh, it's too easy. It's too easy because we have the time and we have the gear to be able to do it. We have the stats, right? You can. I mean, even if you have all the gear, like you have the exotic that you need, you have the mods that you need. If you don't have the stats to make it work, it's still not going to be working for you the way X YouTuber makes it work for you.
But how easy is high started armor to get now when you can literally slap resilience armor on your ghost, go to your seasonal vendor.
If you know how to do that, and hopefully if you listen to the show, we've told you enough times how to do that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
but not everybody knows that.
There's the show that tells you how to do that. There's Google that tells you how to do that. There's 58 million YouTube videos out there that tell you how to do that. And then most people that are coming into the game have come into the game because they've got a friend playing it, and that friend's already got high stat armor, and it's like, oh, just put this on your ghost and go there and do
I mean,
that.
it's easy to make that assumption, but Mel O'Malley, the one that always emails, told us, yo, I didn't know you could farm armor like that till you told us. You know? There's people out there that just don't know, my friend.
That's the problem that Bungie are having, is that the veteran players are finding it too easy, because the veteran players have got this. They've got everything kind of set up. They've got their armor. They've got a few tweaks maybe here and there each season, but it is like, it's hard. I mean, they say, in short, player survivability is at the top end is too high. So this is us at the top end of the scale. It's too high for us. They need to they can't keep upping the difficulty, because the people at the bottom will just find it too hard to get in.
So just increase mob spawn. Like, okay, so
but that's what they did before. Remember with the Revelry, they did that,
and it was fun. A lot of people enjoyed
it caused so much power creep, though.
Yeah. Look, okay, so during the break between Bungie, I've been playing something called the Remnant 2, right? And the Remnant 2 did it the way Bungie's trying to do it now, and on the higher tier versions of that game, it's almost unplayable, right? So like the Nightmare version, right? I've got a build where I went through the first 3 tiers of the game, no problem, right? I give everything status effects and they just melt while I just kind of hang out, right? But that same build in the Nightmare mode, I get one shot by a freaking ad, dude, because of the power scaling and you know how the characters scale in game activity or whatever, right? And that's what Bungie's trying to do now to make it harder for the veterans, but you're gonna make it harder overall for the veterans, and on top of that, you're nerfing a lot of people's abilities and ability spams, and you're gonna make the game not fun at that point. You know, and what I was getting to is the Nightmare version of this game, I just stopped playing it because it's not fun anymore, you know? Whenever you can't even move without getting one shot, no matter what build you use, then you're done. You know, there's only one build that'll get you past the Nightmare, and that's basically an infinite healing tank. And that's it, you know? And that's not fun to play. You know, oh yeah, I'm just standing here, I'm healing. That's not fun, you know?
No, it's not.
And and I'm getting those kinds of vibes from what Bungie is saying right now.
Well, I'll say to you what I'll say to you every kind of time that we have the buffs and the nerfs and the debuffs and everything. Wait until we've got it in our hands and we've played it, and then we go, okay, this is it. Because I guarantee you, every single time we've had a little bit of like a backward and forwards about this, and say, you know, we don't like this, we don't like that. And then when we do get that season, everything goes out the window and everybody forgets about it, because there's a fantastic build that's been found and put together, and we're on to the next thing, and it doesn't really matter what they kind of tweaked over here.
Play style. I mean, things like that exist.
But that's what keeps the game fresh, though, isn't it? Just otherwise, you would be stuck with the same armor that you had in year one, with the same weapons, and we'd just be able to kind of just walk through any activity, and it would be boring. It would be stale. It would, yeah. It really would.
Games like Smash Brothers, right? It's the same no matter what you do, and it's one of the greatest games that have ever lived. You know, other games like Legend of Zelda, right? That stuff never changes, but people keep playing it for years and years because it's a good
fighting game and RPG. Yeah.
I mean, and Remnant 2, if it wasn't for the Nightmare, would be fun. You know, I've been playing that the whole time. Bungie's deciding when to bring out the next season, right? So, you know, I mean, if a game is good and you have good stuff in the game and you have a good storyline, people are going to play it. You don't have to keep creeping in changes like this, man. I mean, to keep it fresh, I mean, you don't have to. Just make the game good. Come out with new content that doesn't require you completely changing how everybody in the game plays the game, you know? Whatever.
Well, for the first pass, they're targeting a small number of subclass keywords that they believe most strongly contribute to the excess survivability in combat. Woven Mail, Restoration, and Devour. Ugh. Okay, so in Update 7.2, they took a small stab at Woven Mail's PvE damage reduction, but with Update 7.3, they're reducing it even further by 10%.
Oh, come on! Even with Woven Mail and an Overshield and in-game content, you still get one shot. It's ridiculous. And now they're making it even less viable.
Everybody's complaining about Titans with the
banner?
One-hit melee.
Oh, the one-hit melee. Yeah.
Well, that mixed in with the banner of war. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. But you take that into a GM.
I want them to have that in PvE, though.
with anything other than a sword, guarding for protection, like if you're using... There's a reason most of them are using, what do you call the exotic sword?
Lament?
You take that into PvE, your Banner of War, that stupid melee with Synthoceps and Lament, and yeah, you are pretty hefty, but you wander up to most things and they're still going to kill you.
But you guys, the Titans, had that exotic where you can have the sword guard up and it doesn't eat your sword.
Stronghold,
energy.
yes.
Stronghold. Yeah.
Stronghold.
Yeah. There you go. Right? You have the strongholds on, you infinitely guard till you get to the boss or whatever is trying to kill you. You kill it, now you have the banner for the whole team. And you just walk around guarding, just do, hit, hit. And you keep the banner up and you're kind of invincible. Because, you still take damage when you're guarding with a sword, but you're healing like a summoner biscuit, too.
Well, no, I mean, they did change the stronghold. Maximize guard stasis on equipped swords. You take reduced damage whilst blocking with the sword, and rapidly defeating targets after blocking a shot with a sword grants restoration for a duration determined by the number of shots blocked. So it's not infinite now.
Okay. And the other thing you've got to bear in mind with all that is the fact that you're talking about running strongholds there, which means that you're taking Synthoceps off, which is where a big amount of the damage boost was actually coming from, was the Synthoceps.
I'm not just talking about a damage boost. I'm just talking about survivability, in a GM, But I mean, if it's that bad,
well, I'm going to tell you what that we're doing next week. So, Woven Mail reduced damage resistance in PvE combatants from 55 to 45%. Restoration heal rate is being reduced in both PvE and PvP, similarly to Woven Mail cases. We want to see how this feels alongside some changes to Throwing Hammer and Soul Invictus further down.
It's going to feel bad. Reducing healing? It's bad.
Well, no, restoration. So reduce healing rate.
Restoration is healing. They're reducing the restoration, aka
restoration times 1. So the old one is 40 hit points in PvE and 20 hit points in PvP. The new is 35 in PvE and 17.5 in PvP. Not too bad. It's a slight reduction.
You're saying that, but a Well of Radiance gives you restoration. I mean, it's restoration.
Okay.
But you go into a GM and you can still get one shot by a sniper out of a well.
Oh, yeah. So why are they reducing it? I mean, okay, in PvP, sure. Why PvE?
Yeah. And the other thing is, why reduce the one thing that gives you survivability when everything in this game has a stomp mechanic, and one of the only ways you can even remotely get close to half of the things in difficult content is if you're in a well or a bubble.
Yeah, I mean, they've given us a sword that we can't use in in-game content at all. That you've eliminated an entire class of weapons.
No, you just have to learn how to use it.
Yes, let's learn how to use a weapon that requires close combat. When in close combat, you get one-shot stomped, which would normally be offset by the healing that you could have, which has also been nerfed. Yes, what you're saying makes sense.
It does. And reduced healing rates of restoration times 2. So the old was 65 in PvE and 32.5 in PvP. The new one is 50 in PvE and 25 in PvP. And last up is Devour. So this is largely due to the ease of use of Echo of Starvation's fragment, which was initially developed when there were fewer orbs of power being generated. Now we're just making too many orbs of power. No. It's easy to kind of chain that.
No such thing as too many orbs of power.
So they're reducing its heal amount from 200 hit points to 100 unless Feed the Void is equipped. So Devour healing amount both on activation and refresh reduces from full heal to 100 hit points unless Feed the Void is equipped, and now refills both health and shield sections more smoothly rather than adding health to each section separately. Feed the Void increased grenade damage regeneration per kill while Devour is active. This amount varies based on the type of target defeated. Now also improves the strength of Devour heal when equipped. And this again is going to be an ongoing process, so please continue to give them feedback. Now, feedback is when you've actually used it, not beforehand. Respawn.
I give feedback whenever I want to give feedback. So.
No.
Look, I'm already giving feedback right now. This is my feedback. Don't do it, it's dumb. Boom!
What about sprinting and slide melees? Are you happy about this one?
Okay, so I have mixed feelings. Personally, I'm very happy about this. Right?
Okay.
But at the same time, it doesn't really change anything because you can still slide shotgun melee. You just can't slide shotgun empowered melee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that slide shotgun melee is still going to kill you. Right? But at the very least, you can't slide shot empowered melee, which will prevent a shield bash or a hammer smash or a warlock freaking mini nova or whatever the hell they use, whatever, right? I mean, most hunter empowered melees are some kind of a ranged option, which we really wouldn't use after slide shotgunning anyway, unless you're arc, then our empowered strike. But even then, it doesn't matter because if you land their shotgun, any follow-up melee is going to finish the job unless they have like some ridiculous overshield happening or something. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy, but at the same time, like I said, it doesn't really change much. There's not a whole lot happening.
I'm going to tell you what's happening. What's on the down low or the low down?
No,
the DL. Yeah.
DL, yeah.
So way back when they decided to remove the capability for shoulder charge abilities, shield bash, seismic strike, and shield strike to one-shot enemy players, especially in Crucible. And this is part of an ongoing effort to make sure that one-shot abilities in the game come with significant risk or cost, whether that's significant wind-up time for Thunderclap or Consecration, or skill with flux grenades, or specific build craft choices like Peregrine Greaves. Players are able to currently circumvent this change by sliding, firing their weapon, and still being able to hit the initial shoulder charge or slide melee. This is what I was kind of talking about last week with kind of Peroty about old man kind of reflexes. I can't do this. This isn't me. I'm the guy that will, melee you, then shotgun you. I can't kind of shotgun, then melee you. So I'm glad that they're kind of taking this out of the game because then it stops other players from doing the same thing to me. So win-win as far as I'm concerned. So you won't be able to do... Sorry?
The big thing that's brought this on is the current meta of Titans, where a lot of them are using tractor cannon to debuff an enemy, running the opposite way, turning round, grappling, coming towards them, shooting a 1-2 punch shotgun, but not losing the momentum, and they're able to use the what you call the Mr. Crab Claw.
Super complicated.
It's not that difficult. I mean, really? I can do it on a controller.
Okay.
Like, it's easier, keyboard and mouse, but I can do it on a controller.
Well, see, this is what they're saying, is that people have kind of been circumventing that and just doing what you were saying and still being able to get that full melee charge, even if they've fired their weapon beforehand or they've done kind of grapples and debuffs and things like that. So now... They don't want that to happen at all. So sprint and slide activated melees can no longer be activated after the player has fired their weapon during a slide. This affects the following melee abilities: Seismic Strike, Shield Bash, Hammer Strike, Howl of the Storm, Consecration, Flesh Storm, Lightning Surge, and Tempest Strike. So you guys are in there as well, the hunters, with those things. Along with this change, we're also increasing the potency of Tempest Strike, which has felt somewhat left behind given the powerful synergy between the flow of state and lethal current. So the Tempest Strike, they're increasing the base damage from 110 to 125, rework the tracking behavior to be more consistent at longer ranges, and improve consistency while traveling over rougher terrain. There you go. That's a good thing for the hunters there. No?
I mean, doesn't really make a difference, but, whatever.
I can't remember the last time I used Tempest Strike.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really use it. Well, I don't really use it. There are some PvP players out there that use it heavily that I've come across. I mean, and it's good in PvP, but, I don't know.
I'm a PvE player.
PvE? No, absolutely not. No.
Exactly.
There's so many. I'm going to use Arc Liar's Handshake before I use Temper Strike. 100%. Yeah.
So Bonk Hammer and Banner of Wars are getting nerfed.
Yeah, they are. I mean, yeah, they are, guys, and I'm so sorry to hear this.
Such a liar.
Yeah, I mean, Titans have kind of done this to themselves.
A little bit.
Just equipping it and just being the only thing to play. It's like, so we have only brought this on ourselves. So with Season of the Wish, Bungie are making changes to slow down the charge progression, increasing the number of defeats required to level the banner up at each tier. As part of this change, we're also significantly increasing the timer extension granted by each enemy defeated to compensate. So if you do get it up, it'll last longer. Sort of.
Sure.
Those values do depend on the type of target defeated, and they fixed an issue where unpowered swords were being granted a damage boost by Banner of War.
Oh, sad panda.
And let's talk about Bonk. Prior to the Solar 3.0, Solar Throwing Hammer was in the Code of the Devastator subclass tree, which didn't have much in the way of survivability tools, other than picking up the hammer after a hit. This meant that players needed to be significantly more careful in their play and generally weren't as capable of standing in a champion or boss's face with impunity while chucking a hammer and at its torso over and over and over again.
Bonk, 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 bonk,
Yeah.
bonk, bonk, bonk. Yeah, that.
While this makes for fun visuals, we don't believe that this behaviour is healthy for the game. So, Throwing Hammer, when picked up, now returns melee energy over 1.4 seconds rather than instantly, increases projectile tracking strength by about 20%. To kind of compensate for that. So you'll be able to bonk, wait a couple of seconds, and then get your melee back to then bonk
Not
again.
a couple of seconds, 1.4.
Well, by the time you've realised it's back, it's going to be 2 seconds.
You're just not going to be bonking as much as you want to.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, to be honest, as somebody who had to play Titan for 2 seasons, I think the firewall melee you guys have is probably the best melee in your arsenal. Anyway, because it's a firewall. Come on.
Yeah.
And no, I mean, but honestly though, it does stupid damage. Like the fact that was doing more damage than a heavy weapon, and I could almost instantaneously get it back was ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much damage that firewall does. So I mean, your hammer's getting nerfed, sad panda, right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing that has to do with your healing too, right? So sure.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but
part of the equation is Soul Invictus, apparently, which offers reliable safe havens in sunspots. Similarly to a Throwing Hammer charge, we don't want to discourage players who want to move from position to position, advancing through the combat space, but do want to make sure that players who bunker in the dangerous positions, such as at the feet of a boss, aren't able to do so for so long. So Soul Invictus reduced the maximum sunspot duration from 20 seconds to 12. That is a big nerf, I think. This duration is only ever reached when the player is standing inside the sunspot. Sunspot durations without the owner standing in it remains unchanged at 5 seconds. Okay. So I wonder if this thing still works, like you can stand in it, come out of it, stand in it, come out of it, and kind of keep the timer going. I wonder if that still goes. No? Do you reckon?
No. I mean, if they're, I don't know. They didn't say that they were nerfing that. They just said they were nerfing the overall timer. So maybe.
No. Fair enough.
What the heck? Yeah.
So
I mean,
with
that's
update
why
3,
you're gonna actually have to move around a little bit instead of just standing still. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that sounds like it's. Yeah. Whatever. Whatever. You can do whatever you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, of Radiance and Ward of Dawn, apparently, is what they'd like to do. They've made some changes to the super cooldowns in update 3.4.0, placing Well of Radiance and Ward of Dawn in the fastest recharging tier. Yes, you did. The game has changed significantly since then. And with the changes to Trials of Osiris Dominion being that you kind of have to capture a point and the rounds are shorter, they need to reevaluate their placement. Maybe just take out supers in Trials then. Just...
have I converted
Really?
Night Demon?
People rely upon gunplay?
Right? Oh, no.
What are you saying?
I know, man. Apparently,
So
I've
in
been rubbing
season-
off on them.
So in Season of the Wish, they're
Wait a
increasing their base cooldown times by 1 tier, matching the passive cooldown of some of our burst supers like Blade Barrage or Chaos Reach. Their goal is for Well and Ward to have stronger competition in round-based modes, giving the other players more tools to effectively deal with them under the time pressure that modes like Dominion has. So Well of Radiance and Ward of Dawn increase the base cooldown. This is the base cooldown without any kind of extras, from 417 seconds to 455. So basically, they'll have a look at it and we'll give our feedback. And if you're still using it, they're going to make nerfs again. And if you use it responsibly, they may just leave it alone.
Nope.
They may.
Nope. Don't even try to lie to these people. Ain't no way they're going to leave it alone. Anything, because even if you use it responsibly, if you're having fun with something, Bungie no likey, okay?
They're gonna take it off you.
They're gonna take your fun away.
Well, they do have a suite of changes for the future planned, but not for Season of the Wish.
Guys, did y'all hear that? A suite of changes. Not a couple of changes, a suite of changes. And I'm sure some of those might be positive, but anytime I hear the word change, I'm afraid.
Sometimes they don't kind of push those if they don't need to be.
Hey, when have they never pushed something? Once they've made a decision that something is broken or somebody's having fun with it, they change it.
Not always.
Give me an example.
Bows.
What about bows? They've nerfed the hell out of bows.
No, they were
weeks. What are you talking about?
They weren't going to do it, and then they put it off, and then they maybe did do something.
They
it was a long
did
time.
Something in mass. They gave bows at least 2 nerfs in the past 3 weeks. At least.
No. Anyway, the near and slightly further future of Stasis. So a week and a half ago, Stasis turned 3 years old. Did you know that? I didn't know.
I'm so old.
It really,
we are.
Because I feel like I've only used it about 3 times.
You got the wrong build, homeboy.
Yeah,
oh, no, wait, you're a
toddler.
warlock.
No.
You should be using the hell out of Stasis with your infinite nerfs.
I play everything, mate. I don't just play Warlock. And when I'm playing a Warlock, I don't want to freeze things. I want to kill them.
I mean, every class except Titan has a really good Stasis build. Except Titan.
No, we know. We don't care. We use other stuff. We use Strand.
You kind of have to, though.
Which is basically what Bungie are saying, that they've seen the kind of massive change in the sandbox. And since the release of the light subclasses in the 3.0 form and Strand as the 5th damage type in Lightfall, Stasis has kind of just gone, bye, I'll stay here.
Literally further up in the Twilight, it states that Strand makes up 20% of the Titans. 20% of the Titans
20%?
playing Destiny are using Strand.
What build are they using that 20% of them thought that was a good idea?
No, Strand. He's not saying Stasis.
Oh,
no, I'm saying Strand.
Okay, yeah, no, Strand makes sense.
You keep getting muddled up with your S's.
I keep doing. Yes, I do. Yes. Okay.
Too many S's, so the Strand Stasis.
Yeah.
But yeah, 20% of Titans are using Strand. That's a ridiculous amount.
Wasn't it that Stasis came out of the box super powerful, and then we had that big nerf, didn't we, to it?
And it's still really
it's
powerful.
Never been useful against it.
And then so we're slightly going back on some of these now, basically starting with Season of the Wish and continuing in the final shape. So again, that they've kind of got another suite of changes that are going to be reevaluating it come. Or I suppose all throughout Season of the Wish and then further on in the final shape. So let's start off with the Fragment Suite. For this release, we focused on our stat bonuses and penalties, removing those that felt unnecessary, tweaking them to make underperforming picks a little more attractive, or shifting them to better suit the gameplay of the Fragment. So Whispers of Hedron, they've removed the -10 strength penalty. Whisper of Impetus now provides... Sorry?
Nothing.
It was Whisper of Impetus, yeah?
Yeah, but like
was,
Impetus,
yeah.
Impotent, I mean, it's not a great name.
Whisper of Impetus now provides +10 resilience. Whisper of Shards no longer provides +10 resilience. Whisper of Hunger, stat penalty changed from -10 mobility and 10 intellect to -20 strength. Whisper of Bonds removed the 10% discipline penalty. And for the Hunters, they're making changes targeted at improving the reliability of Withering Blade in all content and Winter Shroud in PvE. Withering Blade now travels faster and has a longer lifeline. And Bounce, they've additionally added Bounce. Oh,
yeah. So they've put the in reality, what they've done at Withering Blade is put it back to what it used to be.
No, what made it strong back in the day is how many stacks it gave to freezing. That's what made it strong, and that was the big nerf that killed it for hunters. Is now you can hit somebody with every ability you have except your super, and it still will not freeze somebody. Fun fact,
all I see is increase.
Yeah. Well, they didn't increase the freeze stacks. They just they gave it an extra bounce. They increased the distance, and that's it. They didn't increase the damage. Right? And they didn't increase the freeze stacks. The damage and the freeze stacks are the two most important things. You want to freeze the enemy. If I wanted to damage an enemy with a melee, I'd switch to throwing knives. You know?
Well, with Withering Blades, they've increased the projectile speed by 10%, increased the maximum projectile lifetime by 10%, increased the maximum bounce count from 2 to 3, and increased the tracking consistency.
Again,
so that's a good thing.
None of that is the freezing stacks.
No, but isn't that Winter Shroud? Because I'm reading on and it says Winter Shroud is getting an update to be more forgiving against PvE combatants with a longer slow duration and increased area of effect.
That's a slow duration, but not a slow stat counts. Though. You know, when somebody's slow, they can still shoot you. The point is to freeze somebody. That's the point of stasis, is to freeze them so they can't kill you and you can kill them. Right? They've taken away our Shatter Strike entirely, so whatever. Right? They took away our Chinese Star's ability to freeze, right? Withering Blade, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? I mean, it goes back to my point that if a hunter uses every one of their abilities, we still can't freeze an enemy. That's ridiculous. Whereas a warlock can, with one melee, can freeze somebody. A Titan melee can freeze somebody.
At the moment, you can't. Yeah. But this might change. This might change it. You have to wait and see.
I mean, your slow stacks also do freeze somebody.
Yeah. Enabling things like the 6th Coyote to more easily freeze enemies or for freeze to occur more quickly after a Dustfield dodge combo. So you're going to have to just build into it a bit more, but it will work. So they've increased the slow stacks applied to PvE combatants from 40 to 60, increased the slow duration applied to PvE combatants from 4 seconds to 8, and increased the slow detonation size versus PvE combatants from 8 meters to 9.
Okay, that's nice. It's very nice PvE changes. Absolutely.
For Titans, they're walking back a few changes that they made in the hotfixes 3.11 and 3.2. So Shiver Strike now slows players on hit, a behavior previously removed in the hotfix, and fixed an issue where Shiver Strike would not function with the melee kickstart armor mod. Glacial Quake now freezes nearby players on cast, a behavior previously removed in the hotfix 3.11111. And on cast, freeze impulse size versus players has been reduced from 8 meters to 6. There you go. Versus players, there's a nerf there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also implementing a change to improve Howl of the Storm consistency against players, because seeing a target touching a stasis crystal creates a howl, and not being frozen was a frustrating experience. So Howl of the Storm fixed an issue where Howl of the Storm was not consistently freezing targets in contact with a created stasis crystal. So do not touch. If it's not yours, do not touch it.
I agree for every class. For everything.
I agree for everything.
If it's not,
everything.
If it's not your stasis ball, don't touch it. If it's not your ice crystal, don't touch it. If you didn't make them, leave them alone.
I had a little play the other day with the Beyblades on the Hunter.
Yes, that's why I'm complaining.
How much fun are they?
Leave my Beyblade
How much
alone.
fun are they? Right? Why do people running solar have to run up to your little strand ball, grab it, and throw it at someone and do next to no damage?
Because they're
when you could turn it into a Beyblade. It's like, oh my god, just stay away from it.
They're rude. I hate it when people do that. Look, I'm trying to use Beyblades like what he's talking about, and you're throwing my Beyblade. Let me throw the Beyblade, or let me shoot. Oh, and the worst is when I'm about to shoot it, and they grab it. Right?
Yeah.
Oh man, just if it ain't yours, don't touch it.
Oh, you do. I'm moving into pirate land here.
That is against player etiquette. If it's not yours, if you didn't make it, leave it alone.
Talking, Noble.
You know what? It annoys me almost as much as when we used to have war mine cells, and you used to try, you used to set up a build with your war mine cells to like suppress enemies and stuff like that. And then you'd get that Muppet with no war mine cell build on, and he'd just shoot it because but cell go boom.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you'd have let me shoot it, because I had the war mine where it would create like the big AoE explosions and clear the rooms. Yeah. So that was mine. You're like, choo, 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 boop. You pop my war mine. Whereas if you'd have let me do it, all the people that are still shooting us would be dead by now.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. It's so annoying. It's so frustrating when you've got a build going on and then some person
Yeah,
has to ruin all your fun.
For new Guardians, it's against player etiquette. If you didn't make it, leave it alone. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't touch it. No touching.
The easiest thing they could do to all of this is make them player specific.
Specific what?
You create one, it's yours.
Oh, make
So
them
only
player
you can
specific.
see
Player
Okay.
specific.
Yeah. I got you. No,
Yeah, so that
absolutely.
only you can see it. So, like your ammo bricks, you know what I mean? You create an ammo brick. The person next to you can't run up and steal it.
Yeah. I was gonna say making it invisible would be one thing, but on second thought, it's a good idea, because if, let's say, you and I are both running Strand, and you make a Strand ball, and I thought it was my Strand ball, if I can see it, I'm going to try to shoot it. And if I can't break it, I'm going to be like, WTF, what's going on? So if it ain't mine, I don't want to see it. Leave it alone.
Yeah. Just make it like the ammo bricks, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I can't see your ammo bricks on the floor.
Or the orbs of power. You can't see somebody else's orbs of power.
Yep. There you go. Look, we're theory crafting here. Let's go.
Yeah. So for Warlocks, they're making a couple of quality of life improvements for Frost Pulse, Penumbral Blast. Sorry, Frost Pulse and Penumbral Blast. Because Shadebinder is already a strong pick, but they still want to make improvements to stasis. So Frost Pulse significantly increases consistency against faster moving targets. This change involves reworking how this ability applies freeze to targets, reducing the latency between when the ability is activated and when the target is actually frozen. So the freeze detonation size versus PvE combatants increased from 8 meters to 8.5, and the Penumbral Blast is intended to be a skill shot with a high payoff. But when they made changes, they reduced its detonation size, and that impacting the environment can make sometimes feel too inconsistent. So with the next update, they're increasing that detonation size by 33% to making it easy to use, basically. Increase the detonation size when impacting the environment from 1.5 to 2 meters. Shadebinders will also directly benefit from a tuning change being made to Glacier Grenades. Currently, Bleak Watcher's cooldown is directly tied to the base cooldown of Glacier Grenades, regardless of what grenade you have equipped. With update 7.3, Glacier Grenade cooldown is being reduced, which will also translate to the lower Bleak Watcher cooldown. So the Glacier Grenade reduction cooldown from 152 seconds to 121, and the cooldown penalty for Dustfield Grenades and Cold Snap Grenades when Bleak Watcher is equipped will also be updated so that their cooldowns match the new Glacier Grenade cooldown time. Cold Snap Grenades, they fixed an issue where the Seeker was not consistently creating in the direction that the projectile was moving after a bounce.
Mm-hmm.
They've increased arming shape size from 0.9 meters to 1.4, and tracking strength now ramps down from full strength to 0 over the course of the grenade's lifetime, rather than immediately turning off after the Seeker has reached 0.5 seconds of lifetime. And finally, they're increasing the bonus damage special weapons deal to frozen targets by a small amount, from 5% to 10%. And these aren't the only changes to stasis that they have in the works. Again, more stuff in the works. We have some long requested changes for a future release that we'll discuss once that is closer to the time. And do you need a sneak preview of this? Well, they're going to tell you anyway. So there's going to be a new stasis keyword that they're tentatively calling Frost Armor. And that aims to address some of the players' feedback regarding survivability when running stasis, particularly when not using Whisper of Rhyme or Whisper of Chains. Additional tuning changes and reworks to existing stasis fragments, adding additional behaviors to the harvest aspect. So tune in next week for the full list of patch notes, where we will make Peroty read everything that we've missed, because that's what he gets for going on holiday. Who would like to take the upcoming exotic armor and armor mods changes?
I can take care of that. It's time for another set of exotic armor balance changes. Once again, we wanted to buff some underused exotics, with a particular focus this time on broadening the number of viable melee-oriented exotic options for all three classes. Blah, 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 blah. We also wanted to improve the 2 least popular Aeon cult sects. Okay, with the goal of running a team of Aeon would provide more value in high-end PvE play, we also snuck in a few miscellaneous changes that we feel improve the armor sandbox. Here for the details broken down by class. Please note that unless otherwise specified, the following changes leave the rest of the exotics benefit intact. Okay. So for the hunter, Shards of Galanor. Throwing knife kills now grant super energy ranging between 2.5% and 5% depending on the type of enemy killed. Yo, are they buffing my knife builds to also buff my super? Let's go. Ophidius
That's
Spade.
actually really good as well. I put a little build together using shards the other day just to have a little play with it.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my god, you can already get your super ridiculously fast.
Only because they made the changes that allow us to throw more blades in our blade barrage with that shard or whatever. You can throw more blades, and that directly affects the super you get back with the Shards of Galanor.
No, I mean actually getting the super, you can get it already ridiculously fast.
Yeah,
so
but
then to say that we're going to do that on top of it.
It is capped. You can only recover at most, 60%?
No, I mean, no. Getting your super, not getting back your super energy.
Oh!
Getting it at all.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Because you can give yourself, obviously, the armor charges, etc. Then you can use things like, what do you call it, on the
like melee
cloak,
kills give you super energy?
And then if you do a finisher, it grants you your melee back.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and then by the time you've done, like 2 knives, then that, more knives, dodge, more knives.
Yep.
Oh my god, it's so ridiculously good. And then they're going to throw that on top of it. That's going to be so much fun.
And not just that, but remember how I was talking about Ophidius Spade and the fan of knives?
Yeah.
Here we go. Ophidius Spade. Knife kills now grant stacking damage bonus of 30, 60, or 100% for 5 seconds to throwing knives. Dodging refreshes the duration. Ooh, that sucks. Oh, no, wait, that doesn't. It refreshes the duration?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so non-hunters out there, we have 2 things we can do with our dodge. One thing, we can recharge our melee with a dodge. The other thing, we can reload our ammo with the currently equipped weapon with a dodge. If we have a Ophidius Spade, we can throw a throwing knife, and when you kill something with a throwing knife, you automatically get the throwing knife back. But if you don't kill something, you dodge near that enemy, and that gives you your throwing knife back, and apparently refreshes the damage? What? Okay, my Ophidia build is gonna be nutty next season, guys. Let's go. Dude, it's gonna get very stupid, Hawk. You need to start playing Hunter more. Stompies! Oh, here we go. I hate seeing this word. Feedback about previous Stompies change indicated that requiring a full class ability made movement while wearing this exotic field too variable between its states and disproportionately hurt certain builds. Duh. The fact that you needed us to tell you that is why you're having problems, Bungie. In this update, we've removed the requirement of having a full dodge energy to activate the benefits and have reduced the bonus to airborne lateral acceleration that the exotic provides to be more in line with its other bonuses: sprint, speed, grounded acceleration, airborne vertical acceleration, slide distance, and jump height. Blech. In terms of effectiveness, we also added damage resistance while airborne in PvE to make Stompies a more desirable option outside of the Crucible and jumping puzzles. We'll see. So what have they done? They've removed the requirement to have full class ability energy to benefit from the movement bonuses. I don't know what that means. Does that mean we get the bonuses at all times like we used to? Or does it just require less energy to activate the bonus? I'm not sure. They're not really specifying. They've reduced the airborne lateral acceleration bonus. And it now provides damage resistance against combatants while airborne. That's kind of nice, especially during the game modes where if you're in the air, you take more damage. So that could be okay.
Like ground and so.
Yeah. Mechanier's Trixley is very underused exotic. The sidearm damage bonus now persists for 5 seconds after your shields begin to recharge. Sidearm kills extend the damage bonus duration by 3 seconds. So that's cool. And completely reload your sidearms from reserves. The damage bonus has been reduced in PvP to compensate for lasting longer. It is now 10% sidearm damage, down from 35%. Well, you're not going to be using that in PvE anymore, that's for sure, or PvP anymore, that's for sure. With the sidearm changes to PvE next season, maybe, but Bombardiers! Here we go. I love this exotic. Bombardiers now applies 20 slow stacks to enemy players and 40 slow stacks to PvE combatants. This, with a lot of stasis builds, is going to be very, very good. Because not only are you getting slow stacks for just dodging, but when you have a stasis build and you dodge, you drop a stasis orb, which blows up and applies more slow stacks. So you're double dipping right there, unless they say otherwise. Triton Vice. I don't even know. Oh, wait, this is the new one, right? Yeah, this is the new one. Okay.
Yeah.
Increase the glaive melee damage bonus while surrounded to 100%, both for PvE and PvP. Up from 30% in PvE, sorry, and 10% in P. They gave it a 900% damage bonus for PvP. Oh my god! What? Okay, so previously it did 10% extra damage in PvP. Now it's doing 100% extra damage in PvP. That's disgusting. Now, I mean, it is doing a lot in PvE as well, so I'd like to see some builds around that. If y'all guys have any suggestions, I have some things in mind, but we'll see what happens. Plunder the booty! I need an exotic, not exotic. I need a glaive build for hunters, post haste. Celestial Nighthawk. Here we go. What's going on here? Precision kills now grant super energy ranging between 1.5% and 4.5%, depending on the target type killed. Oh no, that's a nerf. No, why did you do this to my boy? Titans. Here we go. Severance Enclosure. I don't know what that is. Increase the size and damage of the explosion. That sounds fun. Kills with the exotics explosion now trigger an additional explosion. What is this? Are these gauntlets? What is this?
Severance Enclosure. It's a chess piece.
It's a chess piece. What is it for? Any class or a specific class?
Hang on, let me just double check because I have got it somewhere. Oh, Severance Enclosure is powered melee final blows unleash a damaging explosion. Finishes and final blows against more powerful targets increase the radius and damage of the explosion. It's a bit meh.
Well,
so
is it still meh if you get a second explosion?
Well, the thing is, it's like having the AC/DC feedback fence, but you know, it just you have to get the powered melee to get the explosion. Whereas if you're in melee range and you've got the ACDs on and you punch somebody and they punch you back, they're going to get explosions that way. So it's still a bit meh.
And the Severance Enclosure is an exotic chess piece? I don't even see that under my list of Titan exotics.
The only place where Severance Enclosure might be alright is if you've got a load of ads surrounding like a champion and you run in and you do a finisher on a champion or something like that.
Yeah, but like okay, so it says powered melee kills, right? So your frisbee, right, looks like it could do 2 explosions to everything it kills, thereby creating a chain reaction, right? Your hammer throw could be really good with that, I assume. I mean, I'm not a Titan. This seems like a pretty powerful exotic, especially if the explosion size and damage is increased and you get a secondary explosion. That seems really powerful. And you guys are saying it's just meh?
Well, it has always been meh. So that might make it really powerful. But as it stands at the moment, meh.
Okay, well, sure enough. Peregrine Grease. Oh, Mike, are you listening? Okay. You now have to be airborne for a brief time before the exotic effects will apply. So no more slight hop to one-shot somebody in PvP. That'd be cool. All right. Damaging champions, tormentors, or mini-bosses with a shoulder charge deals further increased damage and refunds your melee energy. Hold on. guys, did y'all see this?
Holding.
Yeah.
Damaging,
Holding.
not killing, damaging champions, tormentors, or mini bosses deals increased damage and refunds melee energy. You just got to damage them? Yo, what? That's going to be pretty good. That's going to be really good in PvE. What's that?
That could be really handy. That if you know, like if you've got champions that are near cubbyholes sort of thing, you know, that you can hide in and you can run towards them.
Yeah.
Hit them with a melting point, for example, and then, or a hammer strike, whatever they call it these days, and then, you know, run off and hide again, but turn round and come back for a second one, because obviously if you hit them with the hammer strike, melting point, whatever it is, you're going to have it refunded, and you're going to have the accelerated damage, and you're going to have the buff from already hitting it with the melting point, presuming.
Does it work with ranged melees? I thought like Peregrine Greaves turned your melee into like a flying knee.
Yeah, so like hammer strike is a flying knee.
Oh, okay.
But it also used to apply a debuff. Don't know if it still does.
Yeah, it's like a 3-second debuff, isn't it? 3 or 5 seconds?
Yeah. I can't remember. But if you can turn round and then come back and do it again, and you've already got the buff from the hammer strike.
Oh man,
and the buff from Peregrine Greaves.
That's going to change a lot of PvE activities with because there's a lot of Titans that still do the hammer buff and then back out. But if you could just continuously do the debuff, because that debuff is pretty substantial too.
It used to be a really good debuff. I mean, we used to use it all the time back when, you know, you used to have escalation protocol. If you didn't have a hunter, then, you know, the hammer strike was great.
And then just damage. I mean, it already did bonkers damage. Now it's going to do even
really
more bonkers damage. And just damaging somebody gives it back, dude. That's a great buff right there.
I mean, Tormentors, obviously, you're going to run the risk of getting a cuddle when you do it.
Yeah, true. But if you paired this with your banner, you could potentially out-heal the damage done to you with Peregrine Greaves on, right? Because banner, you don't need an exotic. That's just a fragment, right?
Yeah, that's just there all the time, yeah.
Yeah. So that paired with your banner of courage, golly, guys.
Yep.
Worm God Caress. Here we go. The Burning Fist exotic effect has been reworked. It's now a meter that increases with melee kills and finishers and decay. Okay, so it's a meter. Melee kills and finishers increase it, but it decays over time. Okay. The meter is broken up into 5 sections, which provide escalating melee and glaive melee damage bonuses. The upper end of the meter also provides escalating weapon damage bonuses. And as the meter decays, it passes back through earlier tiers rather than deactivating immediately. The meter decays more quickly the more full it is. Ooh, man, Titan's got options this coming season. Look at you guys. Man, I don't know what Acid Cross is talking about. Yeah, your melees may have been nerfed in PvP, but you guys are getting all kinds of bonuses for PvE type stuff, dude. Wow. Ashen Wake. Fusion Grenade impacts now stun unstoppable champions. So you just have to hit them with it.
Yeah.
Is Fusion Grenade the one that sticks like Halo?
I think so. No.
Yes.
Is it? No, I think it's the one just explodes, isn't it? But I think, isn't it
stuck and then exploded?
I think with Ashen Wakes on there, they actually do. I think they actually stick with the Ashen. I'm just going to check. So fusion grenades now explode on impact and gain increased throwing speed.
Ooh.
Final blows with fusion grenades grant grenade energy. So no, it doesn't say anything about the.
Yeah, but if you tag somebody, it insta detonates, right? Because before it would bounce off, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it detonates on impact already, and it'll stun unstoppables with your nades. So it's not bad.
Yeah.
It gives you an option. Syntheseps, Micah.
This is the one that's killed me.
Okay, well, we wanted to bring the generic melee bonuses down a bit to give space for other, more specialized melee exotics to shine in their specific niches. We felt it was safe to bring Synthesep's glaive melee bonus back up a substantial amount. Ooh, more glaive builds. Astacross, come on now, you might get your glaive build back, bud. We have also swapped the increased melee lunge range for increased weapon handling and reload speed. Okay. So the reload speed would be powerful on a glaive. Fair enough. But weapon handling? On a glaive? Somebody tell me how that makes any sense.
No, that's not just on a glaive, though, is it? We have also swapped the increased melee lunge range for increased weapon handling and reload speed. That's just in general.
Just passively. Oh, okay. All right. I see what's happening. Okay, cool. Removed extended melee lunge distance. Yep. Now improves weapon handling and reload speed while surrounded. Oh, it's while surrounded. Gotcha. Reduced the PvE surrounded melee damage bonus to 165 down from 200%. Ew, why? But you increase the glaive melee bonus to 100% up from 50. I'm confused. So is this making it stronger overall or less strong? Because they're reducing the surrounded melee damage, but increasing the overall glaive melee damage. Take that as you will. Somebody explain that to me. Precious Scars. That's the China.
Really ugly helmet.
The China looking thing, right? That looks like broken China.
Yeah.
Kills with weapons matching your subclass. Now apply Restoration Tier 1 for 1.5 seconds in PvP. And 3 seconds in PvE. I don't like this. No, take it back. Stop giving Titans health in PvP. No, stop it. But it is only Tier 1, and that is being reduced, so...
And at least it's only restoration. It's not like restoration and an overshield. It's not like One-Eyed Mask bad, is it?
No. Oh, don't even talk about One-Eyed Mask. There are some people that don't even know what that is. Like, I tried explaining that to a new player, and they're like, what's a One-Eyed Mask? I'm like, the fact that you don't know what that is a good thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's a bloke that will play all three. Even I don't like One-Eyed Mask.
Warlock? What the hell? Balydor's Wrathweavers? What the hell is that?
I don't know. It's difficult to say. That's what that is.
That's an exotic you guys have?
I just like the fact that you struggled so much with that.
That is a rough word to say. How do you say it?
Balydor's Wrathweavers?
I got it wrong as well. It's okay.
Yeah.
I feel okay now.
Okay. Winter's Wrath Shockwave deals extra damage and buffs allies. Okay. That's what that does. Okay. Your Winter's Wrath Shockwave deals increased shatter damage, and allies within range of your shockwave gain an overshield. Ooh. And increased damage with stasis weapons. That's kind of strong. Look at the size of the gauntlet on this thing. That turns a Warlock into a Titan. Look at this thing. That is the Infinity Gauntlet. Changed my mind. It does look pretty cool, though. Okay. So now when you cast a Frost Pulse Rift, nearby allies gains Tier 2 Stasis Surge weapon bonus for 10 seconds. Wow. In PvE and 5 seconds in PvP. I mean, let's be honest. Do you need more than 5 seconds in PvP? They also gain a 50 HP overshield? Golly. The stasis damage bonus provided to allies by the Winter's Wrath Shockwave is now Tier 4 Stasis Surge weapon bonus. And when your Winter's Wrath ends, you gain Tier 4 Stasis Surge weapons bonuses as well. So when you cast it, you get a bonus. When it goes away, you get a bonus. Goodness gracious. That is strong. No, hold on. The overshield with the weapon damage is kind of nutty. That's kind of nutty. Apotheosis Veil. That is an old exotic, isn't it?
Yeah, very old.
Ability energy on supercast. Immediately regenerate your health, your melee. Okay, hold on. So starting over. Hypothesis failed gives insatiable, and insatiable immediately regenerates health, melee, grenade, and rift energy when you pop a super. And nearby allies recharge class abilities even faster. Wow, that's pretty good. What does it do now, though? Casting your super now grants Cure Tier 3 to you and your allies, nearby allies. Wow. After your super ends, you now temporarily gain greatly increased melee and grenade energy for 8 seconds? What exotic do you use right now for your melee, for your grenade stuff?
It depends on what kind of build I'm
Not
running.
you,
I might
him, the grenade spam
Armamentarium.
over here. What does he use?
Sunbreakers.
Sunbreakers, he said, yeah.
Sunbreakers. Okay. This probably won't replace the Sunbreakers, will it?
Probably not, no.
Okay. But it's a really good support exotic. I mean, that's... Whew.
Sunbracers trigger just off a melee kill.
Ah, I see. And you guys definitely get a lot of those with your finger snap AoE shenanigans. With Fellwinter's Helm. What is that do? Fellwinter right here, okay. Powered melee final blows create a burst of energy that weakens nearby targets. Finishers and final blows against more powerful targets increase the radius of the burst and the length of the weakening effect. That's what it does now. What it's going to do is it's move the size of the weakening burst and the duration of weaken up 1 tier against all targets, except for finishers against bosses, which retains the maximum size and duration. Karnstein Armless. That sounds familiar, so it must be powerful. Oh, that's the vampire gloves! Okay, I use the hell out of these. Alright. So, melee final blows instantly restore a large amount of health and continue to restore health afterwards for a short duration. That's their current text. Okay. What it's going to do is melee kills now grant Cure Tier 3 and Restoration Tier 1 for 8 seconds, and finishers now grant Cure Tier 3 and Restoration Tier 2 for 8 seconds. Ooh, my biscuits! Oh, goodness. That's really good for that Warlock melee build that Plunder the Booty showed me a long time ago. So check him out. He's got a really good build for basically infinite melees for the Warlock. And this is going to make you have infinite melees and infinite healing. That's kind of nutty. Aeon Swift, Aeon Safe, and Aeon Soul exotic armors all receive the following changes to their sect mods. All right. All 3 are getting these changes. So, Sect of Force. This has been reworked to be all about providing your allies significant bonus weapon damage against powerful combatants. The bonus grenade and melee energy has been moved to the special benefit granted to Aeon cult allies using a different sect. Okay. Rapid precision hits provide quicker reload and weapon swap speeds, and the bonus now lasts for 10 seconds, up from 6 seconds. Okay. It no longer grants bonus melee, grenade, or super energy on stunning champions or defeating a boss or mini-boss. Instead, stunning a champion or rapid precision hits against champions, elites, or mini-bosses will mark them for your allies. A marked enemy allows allies to deal 20% extra damage. It's not insignificant, guys. And when especially like if they're using grenades, if you mark them and they use grenades or rockets, whew, that's a big buff.
If you, for example, you mentioned earlier on Wish Ender, so you use Wish Ender against your anti-barrier champion, wearing them, and then everybody's running a Wish Ender. A Wish Ender's getting a 20% damage bonus.
That's a lot.
Because I mean, I'm not being funny, but Wish Ender's kicking out some real big damage.
I mean, it kind of always did. Especially when it was bugged, but even without being bugged, it still does nutty damage. And there's a Hunter Strand build that while they're suspended, you shoot them with the Wish Ender, and it gives you back a ton of grenade energy. That way, when they hit the ground again, you can just resuspend them.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, that would be stupid.
Yeah. When a target is first marked, nearby Aeon cult allies who did not have the Sect of Force role equipped gain grenade and melee energy. Okay. So they get all the weapon stuff and grenade and melee energy if they belong to a different sect. So this is kind of encouraging everybody to have a different sect as well. Okay. Sect of Insight. The Sect of Insight has a strong role in endgame PvE teams, and we don't want to change that. The once modification I am retarded, ridiculous. The one modification we do want to make is changing the Aeon Cult ally bonus to be super energy instead of weapon damage, as we want Sect of Force to be the source of weapon bonuses. Okay. So what happens now is nearby Aeon Cult allies who do not have Sect of Insight role equipped will no longer gain a bonus to weapon damage for a short time. Instead, they gain a bonus of super energy. Yes. So this is what I was talking about. Okay. They want everybody to use a different sect. That way, if the Titan's using one, Hunter's using one, Warlock's using another one, everybody's going to get all of these bonuses, it looks like. That's what I'm thinking. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me, but that's what it's looking like.
Well, all bar the one that you've got equipped.
Yeah. Yeah. Sect of Vigor. Sect of Vigor already has a strong theme as a supporting role in the Iron Cult. We wanted to boost its effectiveness by having it provide damage resistance in PvE in addition to its class ability benefits. Our goal is to make Sect of Vigor players shepherds for their team, keeping their allies near to protect them from harm. So Sect of Vigor now provides damage resistance against combatants when an ally dies or is resurrected, in addition to the existing class ability energy. So, who has this one? Is this a Warlock? Who has the Sect of Vigor? Nope, that's not Warlock. So let's see.
Sect of Vigors, it's just one of the perks of the Aeons, isn't it?
Yeah, but each class has different set of perks. That's why I'm looking. Where's the Hunter Aeon stuff? Aeon Swift. There we go. And Wrath Forbear Chant. Hold on. Oh no! Okay, it's the mod you equip. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that change. Okay, so it's based on the mod you have equipped. All right, cool. Sect of Victor RG has a blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it now provides damage resistance when allies, yada yada. When you cast your super, nearby allies no longer gain an instant burst of healing or an overshield. Instead, nearby critically wounded allies gain damage resistance from combatants as long as they stay near you. That is kind of dumb. So they have to be critically wounded, and they only gain damage resistance. They don't get health, they don't get overshields, they don't get anything. Alright. Nearby Aeon Cult allies who do not have the Sect of Vigor role will also recover class ability energy more quickly. I think of the three, this one is the dumbest. Yeah, no, that one is... No, okay. Do better. Those are all the changes planned for exotic armor that will be available the moment Season of the Witch launches. So this is Tuesday. All these changes are happening on Tuesday. As always, let us know how you feel about these. Try them in your favorite activities and keep that precious feedback coming. Woo! Now we're getting into armor mod changes, everybody. We're getting into armor mod. Where's my mod page? In addition to the exotic changes listed above, we're also adjusting several armor mods. To reiterate what was touched on the gameplay section, the high potential power output of abilities means they need to have proportional uptime and require meaningful and sometimes difficult build crafting choices. Currently, the high watermark for ability uptime is higher than we'd like. In order for us to hit our broader goals of reining in ability energy source across the sandbox, we need to reduce the amount of energy fed to the energy economy via armor mods. See, this is why y'all should be playing Hunter. Because Hunters have a lot of stuff that just instantly give your abilities back. You know, we have dodges, we have throwing knife abilities, which will instantly give your throwing knife back. We have melees that upon kill instantly give you your dodge back. Hunters have a lot of stuff that just gives you energy back without relying on mods. So everybody who's not playing a Hunter, you're wrong. Just saying. Heavy-handed firepower and Reaper. These now have a 10-second cooldown after generating an orb of power. Ooh, 10 seconds is a long time. Reaper also requires a kill to be secured within 10 seconds of using your class ability. So you have to kill something in 10 seconds after using a class ability, and it only lasts for, and it has a 10-second cooldown after that. Eek. Melee kickstart and grenade kickstart and utility kickstart now provide between 16 and 45% ability energy and requires at least a single armor charge to be consumed. Okay. Momentum transfer, bolstering detonation, impact induction, and focusing strike. These now provide between 12, 17, or 20% energy for 1, 2, or 3 stacks respectively, and require a powered melee attack. Oof. Outreach and Bomber now provide 12, 17, or 20 per 1, 2, or 3 stacks respectively. Outreach, Bomber, and Distribution. Bomber gets hit a couple of times here, goodness. So does Outreach. Hold on. Yeah, Bomber and Outreach each get hit twice. So Outreach and Bomber now provide 12, 17, or 20 ability energy. Distribution now provides 4, 6, or 7% ability energy. And the energy provided is further reduced based on the cooldown of the class ability used, with the shortest cooldowns reducing it by 60%. We believe these changes will help return some meaningful choice to both ability usage and the armor charge system, while still allowing each armor mod to provide a valuable effect. Oof. That's some verbiage.
That's some horribleness.
Again, Hunters have lots of builds that instantly give you stuff back. Just saying. And especially this upcoming season with the knife changes, art exotic changes, the changes done to the solar subclass. I'm just saying a solar hunter looks really strong. Okay, so LF5M, Fireteam Finder, 1810, Know What to Do, and I'm Welllock. Oh, looking for 5 more. Oh, these are... Okay, this is like LFG stuff. Okay. After almost 2 years of hard work, we will start a Fireteam Finder beta test shortly after Season of the Witch launches. Starting on November 30th, players will have access to the first public raids stress test of the new group finding tool, while we gather data to help get things working smoothly. In-game LFG says, what? The first test will focus only on raids. Well, I guess it's a good place to start. Be aware that this is one of the most ambitious launches we've ever had for Destiny in a long time. So please be patient and share all your feedback so we can work the gremlins out of the system. Our goal with this launch is clear: to ensure Fireteam Finder scales properly for millions of players and to deliver world-class LFG tools for all activities in the near future. Whew. We have a lot more to share about this article dedicated to Fireteam Finder, so go check it out if you haven't already. It's a link that brings you to Bungie.net, and this goes into more in-depth stuff. Okay. So if you want to take a look at that, there you go. You got Champions, Crucibles, Dungeons, Gambit, Raids, Seasonal, Vanguard, and Other are the categories. I don't know if this is the categories like immediately or if that's what they will be over time. Not sure. Okay. Actually, let's go ahead and let's read some of that, guys. How about that? Shipping features, but in secret. Social features are difficult to provide at scale inside of a studio. You need hundreds of thousands of people to properly test them. Even our largest internal playtest will only reach a fraction of the final player counts that will once be featured when it goes live. Typically, we'll run a Bungie beta for a social feature before it goes live to gain a confidence in our release. In a Bungie beta, we limit access to employees with some aspects of the feature live in the public game for all Destiny 2 players so that we can test it out. In the past, we've done this for cross-save, Bungie Friends List, cross-play, and famously, we have let everyone in our cross-play Bungie beta for a day or two, allegedly. Oops. A very public Bungie beta. We've made a ton of progress on Fireteam Finder, including many of the unexpected technical challenges, and have come to a fork in the road with a difficult choice to make. Number 1, push the release of Fireteam Finder even later, or number 2, have a much more public version of our Bungie beta. I would say the public version? What do you guys think? I mean, even if it's broken on release, at least it gives us an idea of what's coming, and it allows them to get more feedback sooner. That way, at a later date, they can push out a more polished version instead of waiting later without feedback and giving us a not as good version. What do y'all think?
I mean, let's be honest. We're kind of used to being Bungie's beta testers now. You know, most things that Bungie release, they give to us that don't work properly, and they fix them later down the line. So what's the difference with this?
I agree. Yeah, might as well just let us beta test it. Demon?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in agreement with Noble. Destiny has always felt like a beta tester for the final game. I always feel like we're always in that kind of Fortnite loop of how many years did Fortnite go on with it's just a beta game for the actual game, and it was like it just became a running joke that Fortnite was just an open beta constantly, which was a game but wasn't a game. And although Bungie don't call Destiny 2 or even Destiny 1 a beta, that it's just I think the thing is with games these days, it's just like you have to test things in the game as players are playing it, because otherwise you don't get a realistic kind of gauge for how things are going to work, things are going to break, and things are going to happen. So these days games are literally just in beta development all the time, and it's just like a constant flux. So
especially if you're a live game, yeah.
I think that's the problem, isn't it? You like Fortnite just went on consistently saying that they were a beta, but it wasn't. It was the full game, but it's just like, well, we can get around so many different things, whereas Bungie have kind of gone, well, this is the game, and we're like, well, you keep changing it every 5 minutes. It's not the actual game, is it? So yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. We've decided it's better to bring you along for the ride. There we go. Rather than have to make you wait, and we hope you agree. Welcome to the party. Fireteam Finder Beta Gold. Prove that Fireteam Finder scales to millions of people. Step 1. Step 2. Protect the start of the Season of the Wish. Number 3. Protect the dungeon launch. Number 4. Be nimble. As an example, reserve the ability to accelerate or halt the beta test based on new information. And the last one, deliver a first-class Fireteam Finder for all activities by the final shape. Good luck with that one. Example, adhere to a schedule of multiple testing phases that progressively refine the new future. That's ambitious. That would be great, but, I mean, historically speaking, Okay. The beta plan is this. Raid stress test November 30th from 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The beta period begins in December pending a stress test result. and the full release is targeted late in January. We will start our stress test on November 30th. Plan to run what I just said. For the raid stress test, all raids have access and are on the menu. We hope to keep the stress test open until 5 p.m., but this is where we haven't had a Bungie beta and the live game disclaimers come into play. There are countless scenarios where we may have to end the test early. So we ask for your patience and hope you take it as an opportunity to give us early feedback as we work out the system's gremlins. We're going to be monitoring the results of the initial raid stress test closely and considering opening more activities as we progress the end goal of having a Fireteam Finder option for every activity in the game. We'll keep the schedule above updated as we learn more, and we'll also let you know in our Thursday Twids and our social media accounts. Getting into the Fireteam Finder, there are 2 ways to access Fireteam Finder. Number 1, from the director using the roster tab. Number 2, using the Fireteam Finder access point found on every activity's launch screen. In both cases, you'll be able to search for a Fireteam or create a listing using a series of listing options to specify the group you're trying to build. We're already prepping content for a few updates to Fireteam Finder, and you will see more things to come online for beta, and even more as we launch towards a full release. A perfect example of this process is the view listings screen below. They give you a screenshot, guys. On the first one, you can see that the stress test version, and then on the second is our targeted final release. As you can see, we are releasing a very limited emoji set to describe your listings later in the beta phase. These updates will flow through Season of the Wish's launch and beyond the final shape. Why do we need emojis?
Who doesn't want emojis?
If I'm making an LFG, I don't need or want emojis. I don't want to be like looking for a smiley face to do heart-shaped raid LF ?
That sounds perfect. Where do I sign up?
What?
I've been in some LFGs that sound a little bit like that, to be honest.
Okay, so I mean it's not bad. You guys can't see it, but the first one just shows like King's Fall with like tags and listing details or whatever. The second one shows like a King's Fall group, King's Fall normal, King's Fall whatever, and they have different kinds of tags, different kinds of emojis. There's one with like a clapping fist and a strong arm. That could mean a couple of different things that are probably not appropriate for YouTube. Existing group finding systems. We're also sure you have questions about what's happening to the group finding system that currently exists on our website and companion app. Not really, because I use the Discord, but cool. Both the website and the companion app will remain available until new Fireteam Finder, both in-game and out-of-game, is ready. Yep. The Bungie.net team has been hard at work developing a new out-of-game Fireteam Finder that's fully integrated with the in-game system. However, it's not going to be available during the early beta period. Stay tuned for more info on the Fireteam Finder beta as it rolls out. Pardon our dust as we get this feature up and running, and thank you in advance for all your help. We're excited to give you and your fellow Guardians tools to tackle everything in Destiny 2 together, even though we're nerfing all your fun. Anyway, update to the cutscene archive. Destiny 2 cutscene archive has grown a lot since we started this project a year ago. Here we go. I knew they weren't going to have enough space. Hold on. Today we couldn't be happier to bring 2 more seasons and an expansion to our YouTube playlist. Never mind. Shadowkeep cutscenes and Season of the Undying cutscenes and Season of the Dawn cutscenes have been added. And since we have you here, why not check out our Light and Darkness Saga Story Moments video to relive some of the moments of the past years before jumping into the new season. I see Cade here. I don't want to watch him die again. Thank you very much, but no thanks. some very good Destiny 2 and Bungie store details. For those looking to upgrade their Destiny 2 catalog, we have good news for you. Lightfall and other content packs are up to 67% off on PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam until November 28th. It doesn't stop there, though. Starting November 24th, the Bungie store begins its biggest sale of the year and relaunches limited quantities of previously retired Bungie rewards. Now, Season of the Wish, you don't have to pre-order the final shape to get Season of the Wish, right?
Right.
Okay. I didn't know. I'm just verifying. Excellent. So, those participating in the sale will receive the Darksider emblem with every purchase made during this period. Also, throughout the sale, all orders shipped in the first 48 contiguous states, Europe and UK will have a $7 flat rate shipping. The Bungie store sale ends on December 1st at 18:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And last but not least, the new Wishing Well emblem will also be available for purchases made on November 24th. And later during the Season of the Wish, they give screenshots of what these two emblems look like. They're okay. I don't know if it's worth spending money to get them, but whatever. Also, whenever they said we're going to make changes to our shipping, I was hoping that they were going to say, yo, from now on, it's not going to take 6 months to get a pin and a year to get a jacket. But no, they've just reduced the shipping cost to everybody to a flat $7. I don't know what it was before. I don't know if this is any good or not, but I would prefer faster shipping. I would absolutely pay more money for faster shipping. This is ridiculous. Okay. Player support report. I am not reading that. Hold on, quick. There we go. Yep. In fact, it does say that stuff is broken. There you go. There are known issues, which says even more stuff is broken. And then we have the good, the bad, and the wild card video of the week. And for the artist of the week, we have the Wish Dragon in all her glory, touching our ghost for some reason. Looks pretty dope, not gonna lie. And that is it for the Twibby Twabby Wibby Wobby Flibbity Flobbity. Boom.
It is. I'll let you get away with just saying the stuff broken.
Well, I mean it. You get away with nothing. I mean.
Well, it's the end of the season. There is stuff broken, and and yeah.
Yeah.
And as Peroty says, go to the known issues page because they're not going to tell us anything else.
They will not.
No. Everything else we've kind of gone over in the last couple of weeks. There's nothing new there.
Not even a little bit.
This is your weekly rundown of Season 23, Week 1, Season of the Wish. So for Week 1's Legacy rotation, these could be subject to change if Bungie restarts their order, but they should continue in the same order that they have done for the last few seasons. The Dreaming City this week is at a strong curse level, which means Spectre Revenge can be found in Ria Silvia, and has the Dark Monarchy mission for the next week. The Blind World features Taken Enemies and the Plague, Aina Mina. The Ascendant Challenge this week will be the Keep of Owned Edges, which can be located over in the Harbinger Seclude. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is in the Deep. The Trove Guardian is located in the Hellmouth, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Hawkis in the Anchor of Light. Nightmare hunts Fogoth, Fear, Ghoul, Rage, and Tanic's Isolation. On Europa this week, Praxis the Technocrat will be the Empire Hunt, Cadmus Ridge will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Safeguard. Days of Eternity legendary rounds are Hive, Vex, and Valister Arc. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Pathfind armor set will be available in Days of Eternity with weapon set 4. Fractathis, Chrysura Milo, Volpicula, Wolftone Draw, Iotona Draconis, Canis Major, Contingency Plan, Legal Action 2, Outrageous Fortune, Still Syllabus C14, and Spoiler Alert. The Witch Queen Weekly Story Mission is The Communion, Altar of Reflections Catalyst, and Altar of Reflections Insight. The Lightfall Weekly Mission is Desperate Measures, Partition Mission will be Hard Reset, and the Vex Incursion this week will be Liming Harbour. The Crota's End Raid Challenge this week is the third encounter, Ear Ute the Death Singer, called Equal Vessel. The Root of Nightmares Raid Challenge this week is the fourth encounter, Nezarek, called All Hands. The Kingsfall Raid Challenge this week is the third encounter, Golgoroth, called Gaze Amaze. The Vow the Disciple Challenge this week is the first encounter, Acquisition, called Swift Destruction. The Vault of Glass Challenge this week is the fourth encounter, Gatekeeper, called Strangers in Time. The Deepstone Crypt Challenge this week is the third encounter, Tanix Part 1, called Of All Trades. And the Garden of Salvation Challenge this week is the third encounter, Consecrated Mind, called Staying Alive. Your pinnacle raid will be the Last Wish over on the Dreaming City, which means all challenges will be available for each encounter, with the Exotic Fusion Rifle 1000 Voices being farmable from the final boss. The pinnacle dungeon will be the Duality over on the Derelict Leviathan on the Moon, and the Exotic Mission Rotator will be Operation Seraph Shield, with the Revision Zero Exotic Pulse Rifle being the main reward. The Season of the Ceres weapon set, and Icolos weapon set, with the Warmind's Avatar armor set. Unfortunately, as this is a new season, the challenges won't be available until the Season the Wish goes live in-game. Also, with this being a new season, we will have a legendary Lost Sector shake-up, meaning we won't know the order of the Lost Sectors until we've had a full rotation. But this season will see the introduction of Gunsmith engrams, as well as a selection of Foundry weapons for completing Legend and Master Lost Sectors while solo, with Legend being a 70% chance to Master being 100%, assuming the Guardian is thorough enough to leave no champion standing. Thorough completions on Master difficulty will also have the advantage of weapons dropping an additional perk in either the third or fourth column. The weapons available from the Lost Sectors are grouped into 4 weapons per day over 4 days, and after the 4th day the cycle repeats back to the first set. Our first featured Nightfall of the season will see us face off against Urinath, Light Cleanser in the Psyops Battlegrounds Cosmodrome. Lord Shax brings checkmate control to the Crucible 6v6 playlist for the first week of the season, Rift in the Party Relentless playlist, and Elimination in the 3v3 playlist, with Trials of Osiris at the weekend. And that's it for the first week of Season of the Wish.
Guardian down.
But I haven't got any videos this week. We don't have any emails this week. But what we do have is coming out of the layoffs from Bungie is some potential leaks for the future. Now, do you guys want to see these? Do you want to talk about these?
Yes.
Do we put in spoilers? Do we put in honks and horns and say, warning, take it with a grain of salt
Yes,
as we go
we're
forward?
putting in a spoiler
If
right
you put in
now.
spoilers, that's the one. Just let them know.
But we're
If
not
they don't
putting
want to
anything
listen,
else. If you
turn
don't
it
want
off.
to listen, leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the end of the show for you then.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
All you're going to miss is
See if I
Peroty.
spoil it, people.
Yeah, all you're going to miss is Peroty saying thank you for kind of joining us. Your Titans are me, basically, and your Hunters, them too. And if you want to join the Patreon, all that stuff. That's what he says.
He does.
And he'll be cut and pasted in an appropriate time and place from a previous episode that makes it sound like he was here.
The whole time.
Yeah. Because I can never remember it. And even though he's on holiday, he never sends me he used to send me the list of all the different things that he used to say. Now he keeps it secret so that we have to keep him on the payroll. That's what that's all about.
Oh, that sneaky beaver.
Other than the fact that he went weeks missing me from the Patreon
Oh.
subscribers, which I'm just going to throw out there that hurt a little bit.
So yes, spoilers, klaxons. Thank you for joining us this week. We do appreciate it. But yeah, we're now going to click a button. We can all see this, can't we? The thing, the link that I posted in. Oh, where's it gone?
Yep, and I'm showing it on the channel as well.
Oh,
Mhm.
showing it to people.
I'm showing it to people. The paste bin you're talking about, right? That thing?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah.
That thing.
Yeah.
No, I know Lucky 10p did a kind of breakdown video of this, but I thought it was really good information because we've had several leaks like this over the last, I'd say 3 or 4 years, haven't we?
And
Where
they've been accurate too.
they've been very accurate
Yeah.
with the stuff that they've actually said.
So this is why I'm excited. Like normally I'd be like, take it with a grain of salt, but this has been pretty accurate over time. So yeah, you take it as a grain of salt, but at the same time,
I mean, it starts off, this information is from a contact at Bungie affected by the recent layoffs. They asked that they not be kind of
identified.
released immediately as to help them remain anonymous, as their future career prospects could be in trouble if their name gets out.
So we released it immediately.
Yeah.
But not their name.
Yeah.
Whoops. Anyway, so
Go on then, take it away then.
Season 23 TFS episodes pastebin. Okay. Season 23 leaks. Dragon's Breath seasonal exotic. We knew that. This was news when I heard it. Seasonal activities are 3 battlegrounds.
Yay.
Each one begins at the Wish Wall.
Yeah, I
And
see that.
Players can shoot it a certain number of times, depending on the seasonal upgrades, to trigger random challenges or buffs. So, I'm not a fan of having to do the Wish Wall every single time. I hate having to do it once a week just to get to Shirochi. I don't know about doing it every time I want to go to a battlegrounds, but at least you can determine your own buffs and nerfs. So that's kind of cool. The dungeon is a direct sequel to, are you ready for this, Demon? The Shattered Throne.
Oh.
Direct sequel.
I love this bit.
Alright, so the objective is to restore it to Mara's control, and Savathun helps reluctantly, but it's necessary to get through the portal. Season and oh, by the way, that cutscene that you were talking about, where you're looking at the notes, I finally got that. So yeah, it did go out to everybody. Night Demon.
Did it? So you haven't done the Embarrow engine stuff?
I have not, but I got the cutscene.
Oh wow!
Yep.
You got the cutscene that your guardian's looking at the kind of paperwork.
Yeah, the wing design and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, where do we go? Okay. Season ends, the Dreaming City curse. What? Yeah, that's only been 5 years in the make. No, I don't even know. It's been years since we've had this curse going on. Shout out to the guy that keeps dying every week. Sorry, dude. For y'all that don't know, that haven't been into the Dreaming City, especially the new players, there's a couple of Guardians and or Mara, I don't know, followers that at the beginning of the week they're injured, at the end of the week they die, and then at the beginning of the week they're resurrected, only to get injured and die again. So these people are in an endless loop of dying and resurrecting, and you gotta feel bad for those guys. Anyway, so it ends the Dreaming City curse, aided by the actions taken in the dungeon. And the 3-week cycle remains the destination, however. Cool. Alright, more leaks. Very little one-on-one reuse of resources. That's good. AKA old set pieces like Vogue, Nightfall, Vow, Kingsfall, that's what I said, are appropriated but changed significantly. Rolk used as a champion boss. It's not really him, it's just his model. And Ghost will comment on it though. That's nice. The fact that the Ghost in-game was going to talk about how they're reusing resources is funny. Lucent Hive are in the Traveler the same way Kate is. He's not really alive. I told you! I called this
this isn't
ago.
Confirmed. This with a grain of salt. Grain of salt.
Kate
Grain of salt.
is not really alive.
I'm taking that one with a grain of salt.
As a Traveler's main resistance to the Witness. The fact that Kane is the resistance the Traveler chose should tell you all you need to know about the Hunters. He didn't pick a Warlock. He didn't pick a Titan. He picked Cade. Thank you. Good night.
You know why that is? You know why that is, don't you?
Shut up.
Warlocks are still stood in their well, and Titans are stood in a bubble. What the Hunter was just wondering about, like, oh, what am I meant to do here?
No, the Hunter's the best. is why they picked Cade. Okay.
He's the only one dead.
No, there are tons of people that are dead. Look at all of the Iron Lords as an example.
Shin Malfa, the Iron Lords.
Yeah. Tons of Guardians are dead. You shut your face hole. Where we go? Okay. One mission One mission requires the Guardian to make a tenuous alliance with Ektar to fight the shadow of Oryx using high. Oryx is back again. God damn it. He can just die.
It's only a shadow. I don't understand why anybody has to fight a shadow. Just turn off the light.
Turn on the light? Or no, but if you turn off the light,
no, turn it off.
Everything
turn off
the
light
shadow.
and he's gone, isn't he?
Yeah, but if you have more lights, believe it or not, you can have a certain number of lights that you don't have a shadow. It's crazy. We did it once in physics class. It's so weird not having a shadow. It's almost like you're in a badly developed video game, even though it's real life. Give it a shot one day. It's a crazy feeling. Anyway. But Oryx and the other one that keeps coming back, he was in the last, he was in the Raid in Space. Taniks! Oryx and Taniks! Stop using them! Jesus. Pale Heart is genuinely large, whatever that means. The Tree of Silver Wings in one of the side bubbles has a mechanic where you give it collectibles earned through doing challenges in Pale Heart to unlock rewards, unique red borders, and an exotic. Okay. The main aim of the Pale Heart is to give players a long-term system to chase. All right. The raid boss? You mean dungeon boss? We're not getting a raid.
No, raid boss.
Raid boss in the final shape.
That's final shape, this.
Okay. Raid boss is a 4-phase fight against the Witness. It ends with the Witness and the darkness connection severed, and a new type, in quotes, of darkness is released into the world. The lore rivals vows. Ooh. I wonder if that has to do with because if a new kind of darkness comes out, that might be that red subclass we saw, the one that looks like blood. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's
like
what
a
they're
vampiric
talking
subclass.
about, yeah.
Woo. Anyway, no new subclass planned for the final shape, although it is in development. So that right there, this one sentence tells us there is something after the final shape, right? So no subclass is planned for the final shape.
We knew there was something after the final shape, but not like an expansion as yet.
Yeah,
We've got episodes.
The red subclass leaks were real. Bungie may end up including the new subclass with the final shape if the delay happens. Echoes! Venues return missions
Venus. Venus?
Is that? I thought. Hold on.
Well, Venus was in D1, wasn't it? So it'd make a change for Venus. It'd make sense for Venus to return.
Yeah, that is Venus. Look at that. So my illiteracy aside, Venus returns, and the missions on Venus were planned for Lightfall but got cut. So much of the work was already done. Osiris's echoes sent out to explore the Infinite Forest have been subsumed by the Vex. What does that mean? Subsumed.
I think it means that they've sort of like taken it in and gone, yeah, now ours.
Subsumed. Past tense, subsumed. Past participle, subsumed. To include or absorb something into something else. Most of these phenomena can be subsumed under two broad categories. There you go. We've learned a word, guys. Subsumed by the Vex. New, quote, Vex enemy, Echo. Special buffer unit casts a Song of Flame, so allied projectiles scorch on hit. Ew, I don't want to be scorched. It also applies Withered, so it applies Scorched and Withered, which either reduces accuracy, reduces fire rate, or both. Still in playtest, so not final. Withered is a tease for the next subclass. Ooh. 2 Osirises, the regular one, and an Echo, who is now a major Vex antagonist in control of the precursor Vex. Whoa! Hold on! He gained control of the precursor Vex? Are we going to have Vex allies?
I don't know what that means there. I don't know if that means that the regular one is going to have it, or if the Echo...
I mean, whatever. If any one of them can control the precursor Vex, for those of you that don't know, the precursor Vex are like the old school Vex that like have like leaves and crap growing on them. You know, the ones that have been on, what was it, Mars for God knows how long. Yeah. So, dude, if we could have precursors as allies, that'd be cool. Precursor Vex invasion of Venus. Lots of cool chrome/gold stuff littered around the landscape. Episode story is mostly about finding out what's going on. Eris Morn, Osiris are involved. I wonder if it's Eris Morn as Eris Morn or Eris Morn as the deity of death that we're creating. And beyond that, we have episodes that are being structured as enjoyable experiences to play through in one sitting. Vaulting will continue, but Bungie plans to let old episode campaigns be replayed on rotations. Plans to improve the new player experience significantly. Move aspect fragment unlocks away from the vendor. That's good. Episodes to be Shadowkeep sized. Potential plans to continue episodes with greater investment as a replacement for the final shape. Lightfall, and Witch Queen size expansions. No 2025 expansions have been planned so far. And the subclass to be released alongside an episode when it's ready, in quotes, internal codename Terror, not the final name. Think Vapor. Okay.
I've never found Vapor terrifying.
Was that?
I've never
Depends
found
on what kind of vapor it is.
terrifying. Never like turned the tap on and gone like that. Ooh, look, hot water vapor. Ooh.
Yeah, but have you ever come across, I don't know, sulfuric acid vapor?
It's not a competition, guys.
Once, but it wasn't that. Again, I was, there was a big screen between me and it, and I was like, it's over there, though, isn't it? There's a big screen.
Wither is one of the verbs, with accuracy, move speed, and fire rate decreases. Decompose is like a big damage over time thing. So this is more like a poison subclass? Because poison can wither, poison can decompose. And there's a mind control ability? Hold up. So maybe we are going to have Vex Precursor allies. What?
That mind control ability just reminded me of the thing in Destiny 1. You guys
the artifact. The artifact. You could melee somebody and you would turn them onto your side
Yeah. That's true. Forgot about that. And there's going to be a Splatoon-like focus on painting terrain with zones. Whatever that means.
Splatoon, it's a Nintendo game.
I know what that is, but are we changing our guns for paint guns? WTF.
Maybe.
And
the Crucible's got out of control.
And there's a personal speculation from this individual. It says, we'll expect to see sequel episodes eventually, like Echoes 2, that follows up on the Vex Osiris plotline. Doubts Bungie would commit to endless stories without interconnections. And that is it.
Is that it for our speculation and stuff that we found out? That we data mined. We data mined all of that.
Indeed, we did. Me and you.
No, we didn't do any of that.
Definitely not this person that used to be an ex-employee from Bungie.
No,
definitely not that person.
But yeah, I've got nothing else to say apart from collect your engrams. Make sure you've got all your shards and your things done for the end of this season. Mm-hmm. And we hope you enjoyed the new season. And I can't wait to see everybody there. It's going to be good fun.
Right?
I'm sure.
They still haven't told us what the new exotic is for the season, so that might be a good thing.
I've got 3 days left to do science. Because I'm currently up to 96 engrams at what's his face?
Shax?
Zavala.
No, I'm Shax.
I have not played that much PvP that I've developed that many.
No, but I'm the same with Shax. Shax has got it's in the hundreds. I'm like, what am I going to do?
I haven't got him over 99 yet. I still haven't been able to get anybody over 99 yet.
It's locked, I'm telling you. But
I'm sure mine is. I'm sure mine's over that.
But are the engrams going away? Do I need to spend them?
Yes, they do. They get reset. Yeah, only the ones in the tower. The ones at the helm don't get reset until the end of Season of the Wish. Okay. So come towards the end of the Season of the Wish, I'll be telling you make sure you collect all those ones.
Because if you guys making me play PvP, my Shax has got a ton.
There you go then.
No, not there you go. I only have 40 slots in my vault, and I need those 40 slots.
Why do you have so many slots in your vault, and can I rent them off you?
Because I've deleted every single non-exotic from my Titan and my Warlock, except for the builds that I've got for them, which cleared up a lot of space. And I've deleted all repeated exotics that don't have the best rolls. And all of the class-specific stuff for the Titan and the Warlock has been placed on the Titan and the Warlock.
To never see the light of day.
Right? So the only thing that's in my vault right now is Hunter and weapons. That's it. And still, I only have 40 slots available.
And still, I want to rent them because my vault's full again.
Yeah.
So is mine. But yeah,
There it is.
unless you guys have got anything else to add to the show this week, I'm gonna hand it over to Peroty. Have you guys got anything to say? No?
Yes. So Blunder the
always
Booty
one.
has a lot of really good builds for the hunter, and
You
one
were
really good
tempted to
one
say
for the
Titan, then,
warlock.
weren't you? You
For
were gonna say
that
Titan.
infinite melee for the warlock, and then a lot of good stuff for the hunter. And it's specifically focused on the throwing knife oriented solar builds for the hunter for next season. Get yourself prepared, start getting the stuff that you're going to need ahead of time. Because I'm telling you, jokes aside, Solar Hunter next season is going to be really strong.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you with that one.
Yeah. So get your stuff together. Solar Hunter, Solar Warlock, Infinite Melee, Solar build. And yeah, it's going to be nutty. And that's all I really got to say.
Well, if you find those ones and post them, send them a copy to me, and I will put them in the show notes for everybody to see this week.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And use up your engrams, because otherwise you're going to lose them.
Apparently.
If they're in the tower.
Yeah, tower ones.
Use them up. Go and get loads of legendary shards that are going to be absolutely useless.
I've already spent all mine, so I guess maybe getting rid of the engrams will give me some more to spend, but yeah.
So it's time to hand over to Peroty, because he likes to end the show by thanking all the people that support us.
I do. This show is made possible by Bungie, the chaos
And viewers
within,
like you.
and viewers like you, who can be threatened with a good time, Zep Orbit and K4. Our Otter Dance Troupe, the T-Rex King, Scarlet Cam, BHS Nightcrawler, Mellow Mally, and Diddy Wham 64. Those who throw more grenades, so our dancers have something to dance to. It's important to keep a good beat. And you can't keep a good beat without grenades. The Carver 2782, Golden God 1562, We Noble, Basically Salt, Zombie Pops, Renard Calant, and the Fire Squad 1688 provide. And of course, Deacon is hard at work, with Dimwee, Gravy Jeff, PP Pipe, and Dresser Driftwood. We thank each and every one of you and appreciate you very, very much. And Night Demon's going to appreciate me saying thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Night Demon. Your hunters don't want to respond in real life. And you should email the show, 2titanshunter@hotmail.com, with your hot takes, your cold takes, and all your takes, because who knows what next week's going to be? Presumably PvP? Who really knows? You should find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and really everywhere you get your podcasts. That's where our show is. Like I tell you every week, go to a search box, type in 2 Titans and a Hunter, you'll find us. Which irritates our podcast brethren, which just warms our hearts a little bit, that we're just irritatingly good at bubbling to the top of the Destiny world. 2titansandanthehunter.com is where you can find this show and all of the notes we put in the show, all the videos, all the links, all the things we talk about and say it'll be in the show notes. 2titansandanthehunter.com, that's where you find all those. And if you'd like to join our Otter Dance Troupe, threaten us with a good time, throw more grenades, or be part of the crack Day 1 raid team, patreon.com/TTAH. If you're looking for a more casual encounter, coffee.com, that's ko-fi.com/2titansandahunter. And if you enjoy the thrill of live action, spicy language, and early morning streams, depending on the time zones, twitch.tv/no-one-responds in real life. If you want to keep it family friendly like a proper British gentleman, who may or may not be lying to you, twitch.tv/2titansandahunter, where you can watch the Nitedemon himself stream. When do they stream, you ask? Well, you have to go there. You have to hit the little button, hit the little bell, and it will tell you exactly when they go live. Because as we've discussed, we are old, we are tired, we don't have proper schedules. It happens when it happens. So go there, hit the bell, and you too will know when it happens, and then you can show up and give love, light abuse, and possibly make someone drag you through something you need to get through. And now that we've dragged the rest of the team through this show, I'm going to tell you goodbye. Night Demon will tell you goodbye, and Respawn will tell you goodbye. And we'll be back next week with something. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
Dum